Fired FBI chief. I'm Lisa Brady. Fox News. President Trump decides not to stand in the way of James Comey's testimony to Congress. Fox's John Decker, live at the White House.
Just days before the former FBI director testifies before the Senate Intelligence Committee, Deputy White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said the president wants a thorough investigation of the facts and will not invoke executive privilege, even though he could.
The president's power to exert executive privilege is very well established.
Comey is expected to be questioned by the Intelligence Committee about reports President Trump asked him to drop the investigation into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn and his ties with Russian officials. Last month, Comey was fired by the president. Lisa?
John, as Congress returns from its Memorial Day break, the Trump administration trying to keep its agenda on track.
How many people around the table think that there is an urgent need to repeal and replace Obamacare?
Oh, absolutely. Vice President Mike Pence meeting with small business owners. The Senate's working on its own version of health care reform after a revised GOP plan won narrow approval in the House. A deadly mass shooting in Orlando nearly a year to the day after the attack at Pulse nightclub. But today's incident at an awnings factory was workplace violence, police say, not terrorism.
I don't want to make it too gruesome, but most of the victims were shot in the head. Some were shot multiple times.
Orange County Sheriff Jerry Deming says the 45-year-old gunman had been fired in April. He killed 5 people before killing himself. Stocks finished slightly lower. The Dow down 21 points at the bell. Apple just unveiling its answer to Amazon's popular Alexa digital assistant. The Apple version is HomePod, a home speaker that'll use the Siri voice command system to send texts, check news and sports, find music, and control home gadgets. It's expected to be available later this year. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Looks like some cable and phone companies are trying to sell home security. But when a burglar sees one of their signs in the front yard, what does it say? Oh, wow, this home has 599 channels. Or, oh, these guys have high-speed internet. But the ADT sign, it says, this family trusts the company whose name means security. So beat it. It's no wonder 5 times more people choose ADT to protect their homes.
Learn more at ADT.com and to see licensing and terms and conditions.
When you're hiring for a growing business, you don't need lots of candidates. You need the right candidates. You need Indeed.com. With an algorithm that positions your job post where quality candidates are and screener questions that help you zero in on the best talent. Indeed.com, the site proven through an independent study to deliver 5 times more hires than any other. New users claim your $50 credit for a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Family of a man who died after being beaten outside a Denny's restaurant in Texas says there's a video showing a Harris County Sheriff's deputy failing to intervene. The deputy's husband is the accused killer, who witnesses say attacked John Hernandez over his drunken behavior.
It appears to be manslaughter, if not a murder, because the guy has him in a chokehold, and he chokes him and eventually kills him.
Hernandez family attorney Randall Callanan and the attorney for the bystander who took the video are calling for a grand jury investigation. No charges have been announced against the deputy's husband. A Detroit police officer recovering from gunshot wounds.
Enough is enough. It needs to stop.
That's Detroit Police Chief James Craig after one of his officers was shot late Sunday night while off duty and walking out of a liquor store. A gunman approached him in a robbery. The two got into a shootout. The suspect was killed. The officer took bullets to the torso and a foot and needed emergency surgery, listed in critical condition right after.
Since September, if my numbers are correct, we're probably at 9 officers either shot or killed.
Craig does not know if the officer was targeted because he's a cop. He says they're searching for a second suspect who drove away right after the shootout. Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Some Jeeps are under investigation for airbag issues.
The government is looking into complaints that airbag control computers in some Jeep Liberty SUVs can fail, keeping the airbag system from operating properly in a crash. It affects about 100,000 2012 models.
Fox's Pat O'Neill, no injuries. Drivers reporting the airbag warning light came on. In some cases, the problem was fixed by replacing the computer, but at least one owner being told to cover the cost himself, as much as $500. The city of San Francisco accusing Uber and Lyft of failing to adequately serve poor neighborhoods and the disabled. Prosecutors issuing subpoenas for records from the ride-sharing companies. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
You just had to move your chair around.
I've been sitting here for 5 minutes.
Yes.
And at the last second, I'm like, I'm too short.
Like, I saw you going for the chair. I'm like, wow, we're about to hit the air. You had to hit the button. And you're like, I don't care.
I don't care. I'm getting comfortable.
Not getting fired for that.
Right.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast.
Stevie's not even here, is he?
Yeah, that's right. We can do whatever we want. Brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you comfortable all year long. Get your AC checked because you're going to need it. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 54. Cools off a little bit tomorrow, high 78. Mostly sunny, low of 54. Sunny and clear on Wednesday, high 76, a low of 53. Right now, sunny, hot, 92 degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
Love it.
This has been probably the greatest 13 years of my life. Just looking around here and seeing all these things that the guys have been able to accomplish has been awesome. Thanking my wife, my 2 daughters. They've been with me at the top and at the bottom. I think from Gene to Dr. Drake to Dr. Gee to Andy Geiger, Buckeye Nation, been an incredible run. And I know how hard the conversation was that we had, but completely understand it. We mutually agreed to do this.
Well, thanks, Dan, and let me thank all of you for coming here today. And during that conversation, it became apparent to me that we probably needed to facilitate a change. And so Thad and I talked about that. We came to a mutual understanding that it was time for a leadership change in our men's basketball program. So we're in the process of going through that now. We've met with the team, met with other support people around the program, and we'll begin a national search as soon as this is over.
An emotional Thad Matta. He is out as Ohio State basketball coach. You also heard from athletic director Gene Smith. The tough conversation, I'm sure, with Matta after, I think, a 13-year successful run with the Buckeyes. It included some Final Fours, included Big Ten titles.
5 regular season Big Ten championships within 7 years.
That's very impressive. Very impressive when you think about it.
Of all coaches that have been in the Big Ten for 10-plus years of all time, he has the highest winning percentage.
Really?
Thad Matta.
Wow. I think it's easy sometimes to forget all the good times. I thought of this last week when we started talking about Albert Pujols. And I'm like, I hope people don't forget how great he was with the Cardinals. I mean, great. And sometimes I get the feeling people were starting to do that with Thad Matta, almost like, Matta needs to go, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that guy accomplished a lot of great stuff at Ohio State.
After Illinois' national runner-up finish, Purdue was good.
Yes.
Ohio State was the cream of the crop.
They were.
When it came to the Big Ten until about, even 2013-14, they went 25-10. 3 years ago, they went 24-11. Even 2 years ago, they went 21-14.
Wow.
And went 11-7 in the Big Ten, but their non-conference wasn't good enough to make the NCAA tournament. And, of course, last year was a down year. It's really only been 2 subpar, I use in quotes, seasons for Ohio State basketball.
And 11 really good ones.
And already Thad Matta out.
That's credible. That's crazy.
It's got to be a tough thing for Ohio State because they want this guy to leave with some kind of integrity.
Absolutely.
But Gene Smith, most people are asking, well, why wait until June? In intro 2 here, Juan, he explains it. And I think there's a lot of rationale to this.
Okay.
I felt confident after the season. Once Thad and I sat down, we had a good plan going into the summer. Recruiting is a major part of it, of that plan. We weren't winning the battles in recruiting that I thought we might have a chance to win, as he did. Mm-hmm. And so as we started talking about that on Friday, which was 3 months or so after that meeting we had, it's the flow of the conversation took me to the reality that, as I said to him, Thad, maybe it's time for us to make a leadership change. And then he agreed. And recruiting, as we all know, is the lifeblood of this program.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Thad's health has really hurt them in recruiting.
That's the thing, right? Because Thad Matta was always a top recruiter, was always able to get in key recruits. He beat Illinois for Keita Bates-Diop, who was right up the road in Normal. So he's a guy that could absolutely go out and recruit, and it's interesting to see because as you watched this team last year, and you started to wonder, that doesn't look like the normal Ohio State teams that Thad Matta
They
always
took
had.
some chances on kids that they probably shouldn't have, especially Jaquan Lyle.
Without a doubt.
And then they had 4 guys leave last summer.
Right.
That transfer that was really surprising. So it seemed like it was heading downhill, and I've thought for a while Ohio State could be one of the 3 worst teams in the Big Ten. I mean, that's a quick fall. And I got to give Gene Smith credit here because if you think it's not going the right way, don't waste a season.
No, right.
As hard as it is to fire Thad Matta, this was probably the right decision. And I know it's late. They did the same thing with Jim O'Brien before they hired Thad.
That's right.
But this is a big-time job. And I don't know if Gene, I'm sure he's got an idea of who his candidates are. You always have a list. But this is they're going to get some big time candidates for this job.
Sure, they will. And it's always interesting to look back at the start of Thad Matta when he replaced Jim O'Brien. And Jim O'Brien, had a couple of good years, but for the most part, it was time to get somebody new at Ohio State.
Well, there's a lot of scandal there. I mean, academically, they had a 20% graduation rate.
Yikes. I'd forgotten that. Yeah. But, of course, a lot of Illini fans will sit there in the torture of the first 10 years of Thad Matta because you think, all right, not only is he from Hoopeston, which I know we always geographically put that in there so that it hurts more.
Oh, well, you could have gotten Thad Matta.
Oh, absolutely. But it's like Max Scherzer that's from St. Louis. Like, geographically,
Mark Burley.
He needs to pitch for the Cardinals.
Burley still hasn't played for the Cardinals.
Right. So you say that, and you're like, all right, not only is he a local guy from Hoopeston, but you had the chance to get Thad Matta instead of Bruce Weber. Of course, Bruce Weber got you to a championship game. Would Thad Matta have? Probably with that. Probably have taken you then to a higher after that in terms of sustaining that success, if I put it that way. But that'll always be the thing I remember Thad Matta probably the most about, that and him beating Illinois to snap the undefeated season that year. But it's just the times early in his career where I just disliked him. I could not stand looking at him on the sideline.
Because he was successful?
Yes. And it's because I wanted him as the coach. And I do the same thing about Joe Madden because I wanted Joe Madden when Tony La Russa retired. And sometimes I sit there and look at him and I get mad at him. It's not their fault.
The thing about staying at one place a long time is that eventually they're going to get sick of you.
Right. That's exactly right.
Or eventually the success is going to run out.
See Lon Kruger for the opposite.
Lon Kruger figured that out very early in his career.
Did.
And he said, I'm going to get out of Dodge when I'm successful. And I'm surprised he didn't leave Oklahoma after Buddy Hield left, right?
Totally agree.
But now he's starting to recruit at a pretty high level there. But it's about time for Lon Kruger to head somewhere else and get that next 6-year contract. Maybe
when
the
you
last
think about
one.
him, is there one Illinois fan out there right now that doesn't love Lon Kruger? And I don't know if they'd want to have him back. They like Brad Underwood, but that's the thing. He leaves you wanting more, and that's what Kruger does.
Yeah, so Ohio State, they're going to go find a new coach, and it'll be interesting who.
Yes.
Because Archie Miller would have made so much sense.
A lot.
And I know Archie would have been very interested in that. But Ohio State, I've said it for a while, I think it's a better job. I think it's a more appealing job, I should say, than Illinois.
Yes.
I think then Indiana, I think it's right up there for a lot of coaches because there's not a lot of pressure there.
Right.
But the resources are ridiculous. The money is great. You're recruiting to one of the best brands in all of college sports. I think it's a huge, big-time job, and Thad Matta showed exactly what you can accomplish
Absolutely.
there. If it weren't for his health, because it was really hard to watch him.
Yeah, I agree.
On the sidelines.
Totally agree.
Not that it matters if it's hard for us. That doesn't matter. But for him to get into every game was very difficult, and his health was really impacting recruiting. But you get the right guy in there, that can be one of the best programs in the Big Ten. And you think about all the turnover in the Big Ten. Now you're taking out another guy who's been there a long time. So the Big Ten continues to turn over its coaches. Crean was there a long time, obviously, and now Thad Matta.
you're also recruiting to a big city, and I think sometimes that helps. You're not recruiting to an urban or to a rural area. You're
like
recruiting.
Purdue or Illinois.
That's correct. You're recruiting, and I think a lot of times that does help with recruits. So who is next for Ohio State? Is Tom Izzo, by the way? He's the dean.
Yeah,
right. He's the dean of the Big Ten.
But, I mean, think about it. Bo Ryan gone.
Yep, that's true.
In the last 2 years, what have they lost? We've lost Bo Ryan, John Gross, Tom Crean, Thad Matta.
Is that it?
Rutgers, Eddie Jordan.
Penn State, well, yeah. Penn State, no. Purdue, no. Yeah, that's it. Probably.
I mean, Fran's been there a long time.
Fran. Right.
I mean, those are. I mean, Bo Ryan, Thad Matta, Tom Crean.
That's a big name.
Guys who've been there 8-9 years
big
at least.
Big names. That is one of those. All right. So who would be next at Ohio State?
Who comes to mind for you? I mean, Archie Miller would have been the candidate who makes the most sense.
The kid that I always loved, and I would have loved to have seen him here. I'm happy with Brad Underwood. Is Holtman. To me, he just seems like he is
Butler
a Chris
coach.
Yeah,
yes,
Chris Holtman from Butler. He just seems like I don't know if it's because of the Thad Matta thing, because didn't Matta go from Butler to Xavier or whatever, and then Ohio State, or if I had that correct.
Butler to Xavier
to Ohio State. So I don't know if it's because of that, and I'm getting the sense that, all right, well, he can make the same steps, minus Xavier, of course, in the middle, but I like Chris Holtman. I like him as a coach. I would have been fine if Josh Whitman would have announced him instead of Brad Underwood. Again, I'm going to state it. I'm happy with Brad Underwood. I'm excited about that. But I could see Holtman as a guy that maybe jumps and takes that.
Would Chris Mack leave Xavier?
Mack could be a big one, too.
I mean, Xavier is set up to be one of the best teams in the country next year.
I don't know.
With Trevon Blewett leaving.
Yes.
And Chris Mack is a grad of Xavier. He gets paid really, really well.
Okay.
And he's been better than Ohio State the last couple of years.
Right.
But if Ohio State makes him a Godfather offer, that's one to watch. What about Mick Cronin?
Mick Cronin would be
interesting.
He
leave Cincinnati?
I'd forgotten about that. I think he'd leave Cincinnati in a heartbeat. For Ohio State, I really do. I don't know if Mack leaves Xavier. I don't think he does. And that's the one trend we're seeing now is that guys don't just automatically jump to a bigger ship because a lot of times they're getting paid a lot of money and they're having more success.
Is the conversation now that they've moved conference, is it done with Greg Marshall?
Ooh. Yes, probably.
I don't think they'll go there. What about a guy who at least showed some interest in Indiana and maybe Illinois, and that's Tony Bennett?
That's interesting.
I mean, those are the names we got to be talking
interesting.
about because Ohio State's brand is that big.
Yes.
Their pull is that big.
How does this work with it being this late in the game? How is that detrimental to the new coach? Obviously, your recruiting is behind the 8 ball.
You're taking over a roster that is not ideal.
Not at all.
Your best player, Jaquan Lyle, who probably hurt them as much as he helped them, is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Sean Tate back. Keita Bates-Diop is back. So you're coming in here late in recruiting, and most of these kids are showing up on campus, next week?
Right.
And then you have the transfer market's already kind of established itself, but there's a lot of guys still out there.
Sure.
So for the next season, it's not set up very well, but it's Ohio State.
Correct.
And you can get back on the trail in July. So to borrow a phrase, it's not ideal.
No.
But
right.
it's a big time job that is a rebuild now.
Yes,
it is a rebuild where you got to reconstruct that roster pretty quickly, but it's still a huge job.
I thought you said it best with regards to that job. It's probably as attractive or more attractive than Illinois.
Yes. To the coaching community.
Yes, to the coaching community. But the pressure there is probably less than it is at Illinois because at Illinois, you're kind of the landmark program.
At Ohio State, they don't pay attention to you until the third week of January.
Right. Isn't that amazing?
It's kind of a sideshow.
I mean, it truly is.
And,
it truly
really
is.
Probably until after signing day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got like a 2-month market there before the spring game, right?
I mean, that's unbelievable. It truly is unbelievable. But that's what it's like, and they can pay money because they have the programs.
Okay. Can I just throw this out there, wild card? If they gave a call to Chris Collins, now Jim Delaney would hate that.
Yes, he would.
I don't think Gene Smith will do that. But if you're, I'm leaving there if I'm Chris Collins.
Isn't Chris Collins that guy you keep thinking he's the next guy for a big job?
Yeah.
And when I mean big job, I mean one of the top 15 jobs in the country. He's the guy for the next job, but is it interleague? That's the tough part there. I don't think he would leave Northwestern to go to Ohio State. He would. He would.
Somebody
I just don't think it would happen.
And I've seen this name thrown around. Could they sway Sean Miller to leave the desert? Sean Miller has
a recruiting class.
He's got everybody returning.
Right.
in the best recruiting class in the country, I think, or one of the top 3.
Yes.
If you're going to leave Arizona, I don't think it's now, and I don't think it's for Ohio State.
I would agree. I totally would agree.
If I'm him, wait till Cal does something, because I think Sean Miller is the perfect fit for Kentucky once Cal leaves.
Arizona's a better job than Ohio State, isn't it? Is it about even?
I think they're about even. Arizona has more success for the most part the last couple decades. You're kind of the big dog on campus there. You kind of dominated until UCLA's kind of come back with recruiting out in the West Coast. So I think it's a really good job. I think they're the same similar tier.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. It'll be interesting. I know somebody asked also about any scholarship. Are there any kids?
I mean, can we approach any recruits?
Can we fly?
I got that ready for you.
Can we fly the staff to Penn State and just sit on campus?
Yeah, that's not smart. They did sign a 4-star center.
Okay.
Caleb Wesson of Westerville, Ohio. 6'9", big boy, about 280 to 300 pounds.
Wow.
I don't know if that fits what Underwood wants in a big man. That's more of a traditional post player that Ohio State's done really well.
Yes, recruiting. They have.
But he's a top 100 recruit, so that's one name to watch. That if he's interested in leaving, I'm sure Illinois, with all their scholarships, I would be very interested.
Without a doubt. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at Ohio State. Gene Smith will move quick on that, I would assume, this late in the process.
Competition.
No, he doesn't. It's kind of like, here, I'm going to put a feeler out for this guy, and then if he doesn't want it, then this guy.
Is it better to have an open job now? Like, maybe Gene Smith is a genius.
Maybe he knows what he's doing. Maybe he knows what he's doing. That's true. It is interesting,
Illinois did this and got Bill Self.
Yeah. That's right.
Not that they wanted to do this.
No. Well, maybe this is the way to do it. That's true, because I forgot Kruger left late in the game. That's exactly right. Well, maybe it is. Maybe this is the new. Maybe we'll start seeing a new trend here, where once summer arises, we start seeing coaches leaving. It'll be fun. We're going to talk. We're going to talk a lot about this, of course, today. But also, the best thing about Ohio State and Thad Matta is that I didn't have to mention the Cardinal Cubs series.
Yes. Well, we will talk about it with Mike Claiborne, KMOX and the Cardinals broadcast crew. He'll join us at 4:05. Not a good series for the Cardinals, especially last night.
Stupid Cubs. Stupid Ian Happ.
So in a month, how big of a lead did the Cubs have?
Yeah, don't you get the feeling that it's going to start?
If I gave you we got 1 month. All right, when we go to All-Star break.
Okay.
Over under Cubs lead in the NL Central.
5.
I was going to say 5.5.
Okay. I'll go under that. I think the Cardinals will have, and I think the Brewers are here for a while at least.
They're competitive.
I'll go under 5, but I'll put it right at 5. Now, I've seen plenty of Cardinal Cubs series before where one team or the other gets the best of the other, and then the next day they play, like the Cubs will play Miami or the Marlins today, and they'll lose. I mean, it's just one of those where it just seems like those teams, but you do kind of get the feeling that could have been the stepping stone and kind of the projection they need to get rolling in the National League. So we'll see if that happens.
Have a day, Ian Happ.
No doubt.
Albert Pujols hits his 600th home run,
awesome.
And everybody's talking about it, that nobody's talking about it. Which makes no sense to me, because people are talking. People are talking about it, though.
Yeah, they are.
Like, everyone's like, "Oh, it doesn't matter." Well, you're talking about it right now.
Absolutely.
Like, it's still a big deal.
Absolutely. I saw a ton on Twitter about that.
Right.
I thought that was awesome for Albert. Number 5.
Made up media story. # fake news.
Albert.
We'll also talk some Illinois basketball recruiting coming up in the next segment with Scott Burgess, PrepHoops.com. Illinois hosted and offered Chicago Corliss center George Condit.
His arm span looked like he could touch each end of the gym.
He's an intriguing prospect.
Really?
I saw him with the entire contingent. They showed up at the Illinois football camp.
Okay.
That was on Saturday, and George Condit is a very skinny kid.
Yes.
He's 6'10", just grew about 3 inches in the last couple months or whatever it is, but his wingspan is 7'3". And the one comp I heard from one person in the Illinois camp was DJ Wilson.
Oh.
Now, part of that comp is early on.
Yes.
He's probably not going to play much because DJ Wilson didn't show up until his third year there.
That's correct.
This year, where he was a redshirt? Was he a redshirt junior?
I think he was a redshirt junior.
Okay, so
I'm almost positive. Yeah.
4th year. But he's got athleticism.
Yep.
He's got that length to block shots, but he's also got a skill set that I think is a perfect fit for Illinois. They're the first Power 5 offer for this kid up in Chicago. All of a sudden, the in-state 2018 recruiting is really important.
Okay.
You got Io DeSunu, Taylor Horton Tucker, and Tim Finke. and George Condit. And Illinois did well to get in early here and offer him and make an impression. So we'll ask Scott Burgess what he thinks
and that hair
about his game as well.
He's got the hair, right?
Yeah.
He's got the cool hair, and he had the Illini visor on that really popped it. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That Dylan Meyer would definitely approve.
Right.
If you want to weigh in, you can. 359-2255. That's the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line or the Chief Bauer text line, 217-359-2255. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and J Show. I tweet at J Warner Scout.
At Lonte, ESPNCU.
Download the WSJK app. Get our podcast at ESPNCU.com or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. Carp has loaded us up with interns this summer. We got Harry Black, Maddie, David, Nathan, and Jacob today.
Wow. The others we don't even know
Can
their
we
last
just make
name
them
yet.
run a race outside?
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Just
like a potato sack race.
Entertain us a little bit.
People driving by on Windsor are like, yes! Hey, and we haven't forgotten you, Warriors. We know you're dominating. We'll talk about that as we go along as well. 359-2255. It's the Tay and J Show.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
Protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. Buyer's inspection with a buyback guarantee and seller's inspection. No surprises before closing. Owned by me, Aaron Allenbaugh, and my wife Kim, and serving all of East Central Illinois. Get more details and schedule your inspection today at aamarshall.net.
Oh, hey, hi, hello there. It's me, your air conditioner. You can call me AC if you want, but Mr. Conditioner is my dad's name. Okay, listen, you may have noticed that I'm using a lot of energy right now, and that's why you need to call an expert. Yep, the experts can give me a precision tune-up, so you'll save up to 30% on energy bills, and I won't have to work so hard, which is great because I'm about to pass out.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save $41 off an AC Precision Tune-Up. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
The official fan store of the Fighting Illini is moving. Game Day Spirit, currently located at 1422 South Neal Street, is moving to the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign this July. In the meantime, they're preparing for the lowest prices of the season to be available during their moving sale in June. Stay tuned for more information and follow them on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram by searching Game Day Spirit. Stay in the know of all things Game Day and all things Fighting Illini with Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
Matthew 28:18-20 states, Then Jesus came to them and said, All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teach them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. Jesus charges us to spread His message to all ends of the earth. How are you spreading His message? Support local and international ministries and get involved. This message brought to you by the Blossom Basket Floor. Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
3:28. I'm Jeremy Warner with your Sports Center update. Thad Matta out after 13 seasons at Ohio State basketball. Highly successful coach, won shares of 5 Big Ten regular season titles, also a Final Four appearance. Why the late firing? Here's AD Gene Smith.
You know, I felt confident after the season. Once Thad and I sat down, we had a good plan going into the summer. Recruiting's a major part of it, of that plan. We weren't winning the battles in recruiting that I thought we might have a chance to win, as he did. Mm-hmm. And so as we started talking about that on Friday, which was 3 months or so after that meeting we had, it's the flow of the conversation took me to the reality that, you know what, as I said to him, that maybe it's time for us to make a leadership change. And then he agreed. And recruiting, as we all know, is the lifeblood of this program.
Speaking of recruiting, Illinois football lost out on 4-star linebacker Deli Adeoye out of St. Louis. He committed to Texas last night. Illini currently have 2 commits in the class of 2018. LeBron James, 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 14 assists, and his Cavs still got routed by the Warriors, 132-113. Golden State a 2-0 lead as the series moves to Cleveland. Game 3 is Wednesday. Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals tonight. Nashville will look to even up the series after taking Game 3. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. MLB, after getting swept by the Cubs, the Cardinals are in Cincinnati for a 6:10 first pitch. Carlos Martinez on the hill against Asher Wojciechowski. Hear it here, loud and clear, on ESPN Radio. 93.5, the White Sox and Cubs had the day off.
That word, Wojciechowski, a lot of them out there. A lot of them. Hey, join Houlihan's for live local music every Thursday evening this summer. Patio Play is located on the beautiful, secluded outdoor patio and features new live performances each week and a $4.95 martini drink special. Rain or shine, the show goes on. They'll simply bring the party inside. So come out and support local artists. For details or reservations, you can contact Houlihan's at 217-819-5005. That's 5005. Again, Thursday night, $4.95 martinis. This Thursday, Nickel and Dimes Band will be playing at Houlihan's.
So Illinois basketball makes a recruiting move, and they offered George Condit, a very intriguing big man out of Chicago Corliss. And this class in state, we talked with Joe Hendrickson a few weeks ago on, and he said not a lot of great Division I prospects in this class, but there seems to be at least 4 high major recruits, and that's Ayo Dosunmu, the 5-star point guard, out of Chicago, Morgan Park, Tim Finke, Champaign Central, who hasn't, his stock's lowered a little bit here recently. Didn't shoot all that well on the spring circuit, but Taylor Horton Tucker, his recruiting is on the rise. Illinois offered with Brad Underwood, and now George Condit's a part of that as well. So if Illinois does well with those, that crop of prospects, could be a nice first class.
You would agree Ayo's the one guy that could come in right away, right?
Yeah.
He's that impact player. Whereas the other 2, let's just say Tucker and Finke, probably guys that will work their way, and then Conduit, who knows? I mean, it could be maybe a couple of years for him.
Yeah.
So that's still, though, in that class, a lot of times in a state of Illinois class, you normally have 2 or 3 or 4 guys that can make an immediate impact.
Well, let's get to the Jupiter's Crossing phone line, get a little scouting report on George Condit out of Corliss. He's Scott Burgess from PrepHoops.com. Scott, this has been kind of a meteoric rise for George Condit. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, he's come out of nowhere. He wasn't on anybody's radar, even toward the end of the high school season. The first time I saw him was actually during the second of eval period. I went over and saw him play in Indy at kind of an off-site event, and he was really impressive there. And then he's just continued from there. He's played really well this spring. He's actually in our rankings. We're going to debut next week for the new updated 2018 rankings. He'll be number 5 in the PrepHoopsIllinois.com ranking. 6'10", long and lanky, big. Really handles the ball well for his size. I think that's one of his strengths. He's an elite big man running the floor, a great rim runner in transition, and then defensively, I really like what he brings to the table, both inside blocking shots, and he can really defend on the perimeter, both on a ball screen and blocking shots. So I think those are 2. I think those are his strengths as far as a player, and the weaknesses, obviously, you're going to have to put on significant weight. He's grown a lot over the last year or 2, and his body's still catching up to that, and he'll have to add strength. But he's got a lot of upside.
Yeah, what do you make of Illinois offering him after this visit? It was pretty apparent that they had a lot of interest to bring him down and the whole staff to be there with him. But what do you think of Illinois offering him and the potential fit in Brad Underwood's schemes?
Right. Obviously they were the first high major to offer. He visited Purdue, but this was his first high major to offer. I think they wanted to, make a statement and say, hey, we want to be a player here. Obviously they're casting a wide net across the country for players, but they definitely want to have a presence in the state. And as far as the fit in the offense, I think obviously he wants more athletic big, and I think he fits that. He's definitely the most athletic big in Illinois, and probably one of the most athletic in the region as far as the state surrounding Illinois. So I think it's a good fit. Obviously, they'll have to continue to evaluate him and see how that goes in July. But I definitely think that they wanted to get in the mix early and kind of make a statement with that offer.
Scott Burgess, prephoops.com. Scott, you said you were able to watch him. What would be a kid like Condit if he came to Illinois? Is that something you think he'd be able to get some time early? Or do you think this is a kid, as you mentioned, that would need to put on weight, would need to gain strength, that would maybe be, I don't want to call it a project, but maybe a year or two down the road?
I think he's a guy that, he could come and play a little bit early, but he's one of those kids that has what I would consider developmental upside, where if you look at what he's going to be 3 years down the road is what you're banking on more than what he's going to bring to you your freshman year. But he'll at his size, his ability to run the floor, he plays with a good energy and a good motor. He'll be able to get on the floor as a freshman, but I think the long-term impact that colleges are looking at him is more 3 years down the road.
Scott, what do you make of the class of 2018 in this state?
I think it's solid. As far as like the top three go, like I caught the end of kind of what you guys are saying. I think Io is head and shoulders above everybody else as far as the premier player in the class, the guy that probably a McDonald's All-American going to come in and make an impact. Tim Finke and Taylor Horton-Tucker right behind Io as far as guys that are top 100, top 150 kids that if they can come in and play a role in a system and will be solid, good 4-year players. And then I think you have Drew Peterson and George Condit as potential, obviously high major kids. And then there's a pretty big drop off after that, to be honest. It's not one of the better classes we've had in recent memory as far as the state of Illinois as a whole. But I think those 4 or 5 guys give the group at least a decent crop at the top, and then it kind of falls off a little bit from there.
Io DeSumo, by I think every service, is a 5-star recruit. Yes. Illinois got in there pretty early and have obviously made him a priority as they should. Why doesn't he have more offers, though?
That is interesting.
It feels like for a guy that's being talked about as McDonald's All-American type, like are Kansas, North Carolina, are those schools on their way soon?
You know what? I agree with you guys. I have been surprised as far as that goes, because if you look at his list, it's like Illinois, Butler, Northwestern, Xavier, like those types of schools, which are obviously all high major, but like you would expect for a kid that's a consensus top 25 player in the country to have like those schools on him. I think one thing you have to consider is how great this point guard class is. As far as a national class, it kind of mirrors Illinois as far as it's not a great class, but the strength of the class as a whole is the point guard group. With guys like Darius Garland, Courtney Ramey, who's already off the board to Louisville. You have Javon Quinterly. There's a lot of different point guards across the country. So a lot of them are more regionalizing their recruitments with the point guards. But I would think eventually some of those schools are going to start coming in. But I would have thought that already, to be honest.
It's a great question. I honestly thought of that last week thinking, why is what am I missing here? Scott Burgess, our guest. You can follow him on Twitter at Scotty B Scout. Talk about our local kid, Tim Finke. Of course, his brother Michael plays for Illinois now. Tim and Mike a little bit different in terms of their game. Tim not as tall, more of a guard. I know last year he played up a year, if you will, on the AAU circuit. This year he'll play his age. What do you think of Tim? As we mentioned, maybe jump down a little bit in the recruiting service or cycle, I guess, if you will. But what do you think of Tim's game? What does he need to show some improvement on?
Right. I think Tim actually had a very nice spring for Mean Streets, in my opinion, when I saw them. He struggled the first event that I saw him play up at Swish and Dish in Milwaukee, the opening weekend of the spring AAU season. But when I saw him in EYBL, he played well. He's a kid that I think at the next level, he's athletic. He's got good size. He's got a strong body. He can really move without the basketball. He's a good shooter off the catch, and he's a good athlete, too. So I think there's a lot to like about him. I don't know if he'll ever be a dominant scorer, but I think he's going to be one of those kids in college that can do a little bit of everything and fits well within a team concept. He's a good passer. That's an area that I think he's definitely improved this spring. So I think he'll be a very solid, high major kid that'll be a good 4-year contributor for whatever program gets him.
How would you compare and contrast him and Taylor Horton-Tucker out of Simeon?
I think Taylon's more of a, I would say he's more of a with the ball in his hands type player, where Tim, I think of the things he does best is probably moving without the ball, getting open for shots, passing it. I think with Taylon, he's a big-bodied wing. I would say Taylon's more of a 3, and Tim's more of a 2. And with Taylon, he's a big-bodied wing that's shifty with the ball in his hands, really good passer. Tim's definitely a better shooter than Taylon. I would say Taylon's better going to the rack than Tim is. But I think they're both definitely very solid high major kids.
Scott, you've known this state really, really well, and obviously Illinois hasn't gotten enough of the players that they wanted.
Right.
Mark Smith was a big first addition for this staff, but what do you make of this staff's makeup, of the assistants that Brad Underwood's gotten here, and what do you think of their chances of landing some of this great talent in the state?
Yeah, they have a really good recruiting staff. Jamal Walker staying on, he was a key player in the last staff as far as the guys they landed, and he played a big role in getting Mark Smith. And I think the other 2 assistants they have on staff are both big-time recruiters. Chin Coleman coming out of Chicago, he's been a mainstay, and he's been a guy that at every school he's been at, he's had ties to the Chicago area and really, locked in on that area, and he's kind of going to take over that role for the Illini. And then with Orlando Antigua, he has the big name that I think kind of makes a splash. It was a big, big hire for Illinois to get a guy like him who's an ace recruiter. He proved it at Kentucky. He can go into these homes and say, hey, I recruited Anthony Davis. Hey, I recruited Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. And he has connections from all over the country. He coached at South Florida, but also he's originally from the Northeast. So his recruiting network is pretty wide, which I think is something that we've all kind of obviously seen here early on with them offering quite a few kids in quite a few different areas, where maybe under the previous staff they focused on in-state, Texas, Northeast Canada area, where this staff is like, we're going to go after the guys we like no matter where they are, and because they have relationships all over the country. And as far as like the in-state guys, like you mentioned, I think they're in good shape with Io. I think they built a really good relationship with him throughout the process. As far as Finke goes, I think they're right there. I think Vanderbilt's probably one to watch with him. They're going to be a serious threat. Taylon's still pretty open to the whole process as far as he's not really ready to narrow it down or anything like that at this time. They made a good impact with him. And then Condon, it's still really early in the process. They're the first high major to offer. There's going to be several more high majors and mid majors to come. Most of his offers on the table, other than Illinois right now, are low majors. So that's got a while to develop. But he's one of those kids that said to me many times, it's going to be about building a relationship. It's not I'm necessarily going to go to the highest school that offers me. So all the recruitments have some time to play out, but they're definitely putting themselves in decent position with all of them.
Scott Burgess, PrepHoops.com. One more before you leave. I didn't think Javon Pickett would be a top 2 interesting recruitment in this state, and he follows his buddy Jeremiah Tillman to Mizzou with a caveat. He's going to reclassify to 2018, so I'm guessing he's going to go to prep school for a year. But what did you make of that one? I didn't expect that recruitment to be so interesting.
Yeah, it was surprising from the time I got word he was going to decommit, and we put that one out there until I got news a couple days before that he might be doing the Mizzou thing. Yeah, to be totally honest, I thought he would get more high major attention once he reopened things up. He's a smooth wing that scores. He had a great senior year, averaged about 25 points a game. Did it against very good competition, as you know, Jeremy. Like the Metro East was loaded this year. It's probably the best it's ever been, and he was one of the most productive players they've seen in that area in a long time. He didn't get the high major attention he wanted. Got a lot of mid-major interest. A lot of Valley schools became involved. As far as the schools that it came down to technically as a 17 recruit, he visited Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and Drake, and those were kind of the 2 he was focused in on. And then the Mizzou option came along, and I think that really intrigued him being a high major school, he gets to play with Tillman. It's close to home. And then the prep school thing, I think, also is something that he's definitely likes the idea of it as far as going there and getting stronger and getting to get in a weight room. I think that's the one thing that a lot of people have said he needs to improve on is his strength. And he'll be able to do that at a prep school. And obviously he won't have to play behind Michael Porter because Mr. Porter's going to have the ball in his hands a lot next year.
Without a doubt. Great stuff. Scott Burgess, PrepHoops.com. Follow him on Twitter at Scotty B. Scout. We always appreciate the info, Scott. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
You too, buddy. We appreciate that. As I'm listening there at the end, minus the Pickett question, because I'm glad you asked that, because I was like, we need to bring that up.
Early Saturday.
Yes.
And I just remembered it at the very end. It was
I was like, I'm glad you brought that up, because what an interesting thing there.
I mean, this Mizzou, Illinois thing. It's going to be so much fun.
It really will be.
It's going to be so much fun to watch.
Stirring the pot, baby, and I love it. I love every second of that. But the one thing that I started thinking to you is, and then Tim in Decatur actually kind of sent in kind of what I was going to ask. Tim said anything on the recruit that visited last week, the UIC decommit. I was going to ask you, what's next? I mean, I know that's a loaded question. What is next for Brad Underwood and this Illini staff?
When it comes to 2017, Greg Eboigboden is the main guy. We didn't ask Scott because he doesn't cover Detroit. So Eboigboden is visited Pitt, I believe. DePaul is interested as well. But Illinois obviously put himself in good position there with their visit. And it seems like the relationship with Chin Coleman should help them. So if they're able to add him, and they still want another grad transfer. And they've hosted some guys. There's still a lot of big names out there that are still out there in the market. Mikal McIntosh is one. Cam Johnson is one. So both those guys still sitting out there, and Illinois got a lot of playing time to sell for front court players. So I think it's going to be an eventful next couple weeks with some of these kids, but I think they'd like to leave at least 3 scholarships open for the class of 2018. So Eboigboden would take away one from 2018, so that put them to 3.
Yes.
And then any grad transfer after that, it's still open in 2018.
Absolutely.
So that would set up, give you a roster that you can compete with this year, and then obviously have a possibility of a really good class in 2018. And if you're talking about DeSumo, Horton Tucker, and Condit, that'd be a nice first, or I guess it would be second recruiting class for Underwood, but first full cycle. That, getting all those in-state kids might not happen, but that'd be a heck of a signal to Chicago to land 3 kids in the Chicago public league.
And wouldn't it be funny that it's the one class 18 that we didn't think would be much of a class, because the way the scholarships worked out under Gross, and you thought Tillman was coming, you thought Pickett was coming, you just didn't think 18 would be that important. All of a sudden, not only is it turning into a very important class, but you could absolutely dent Chicago, and which is something you haven't done in a while. So that would be interesting to see as well. He mentioned in passing there, Finke and Vanderbilt. That seems like a good fit.
Raj.
Doesn't it?
Roger's done really well.
Yes.
I mean, but I can tell you that, Illinois went up a notch when they hired Underwood.
Without a doubt. I think they like him.
I think it's a better fit for what Tim's skills are. I don't think John Gross's offense was really a good fit for that. I think Underwood's offense is, and I think there's a lot of respect for what he's done as a coach. I still think Michael Finke is probably the player on this roster who benefits most.
Yeah, you're excited about that, no doubt.
From a schematic fit, and I think Tim and Michael kind of fit in similar schemes. So I think, I think they've gotten to be a better fit, but, and Vanderbilt's been in there a long time.
Yes, they have.
Pushing a long time.
It'll be interesting to see as that rolls along as well. All right, if you've got a text or phone call you want to make, you can do that at 217-359-2255. Yes, Cubs, you swept the Cardinals. We can touch on that. And I want to ask you, Jeremy, about the NBA Finals. Wow. Just wow.
There's a lot of good basketball being played.
No doubt, and it's playing at a high level, and one team playing a little bit higher of a level, without a doubt, and one guy making a big impact here in the NBA Finals. We'll do it all next. It is the Tay and J Show. Pekin Insurance and your local independent agent are committed to providing the best coverage options and the best service possible. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at PekinInsurance.com and on social media. Check them out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Pekin Insurance. It's a great way to learn more about insurance for your auto, home, life, or business. You'll stay up to date with important announcements. Plus, they'll throw in a few fun facts along the way. For Beyond the Expected information, follow Pekin Insurance on Facebook today.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. For a limited time, Lands is offering special financing for 6 years or up to $1,000 trade-in allowance. Your choice, with approved credit on any qualifying trade system. So call Lands at 1-800-AIR-REPAIR for details or find us online at landsinc.com. And remember, it's hard to stop a train. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
See Lands or visit train.com for complete program eligibility dates, details, and restrictions. Win a free trip to Disney. Stop by Travel by Beth offices in St. Joe and sign up to win. Or Jet's Pizza with 2 locations in Champaign. CarX on Neal University in Bradley. Suites at 3rd Leasing Office is located at Tower at 3rd. Country Financial Agent Jessie DeHaan with her Muhammad office. The Prospect Bank in Champaign, Homer, or Gilman. Participating McDonald's restaurants or Champaign Park District, Douglas Community Center, Virginia Theater, or Leonard Rec Center. All locations with a registration box to win the free trip to Disney. From ESPN 93.5.
Need an oil change? See your Champaign CarX man. Right now at CarX Tire and Auto, get a full-service oil change starting at $24.99 with tire rotation and brake inspection. From oil changes to engine repair and everything in between, CarX Tire and Auto has been serving Champaign for almost 40 years with 3 convenient locations. Your Champaign CarX man has the right oil for your vehicle at a great price, $24.99. Stop in, call, or schedule online at CarX.com.
Don't worry, call the CarX man.
Flooring Surfaces is your premier source for new flooring in Central Illinois. You don't need to wander poorly lit aisles looking for help or load a new floor into a cart to check out. You need an inviting space filled with exciting new floors and a trained professional to guide you to the perfect choice for your home or project. Flooring Surfaces can find the hardwood, carpet, vinyl, or tile floor that is right for you. With a beautiful showroom and over 1 million square feet of flooring in stock. See us today at 401 East Mercury Drive in Champaign.
The world at your feet.
Summer is here, and there's no better way to swing into the season than at Willow Pond Golf Course, the most improved golf course in Central Illinois. Golf for $30 Monday through Friday with a cart, $20 after 3 p.m. Golf Saturday and Sunday with a cart for just $35 and $25 after 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Seniors golf Monday through Friday with a cart for just $20. Not a golfer? The 19th Hole Bar and Grill serves up great food and drink specials, live video gaming, and the Full Swing Golf Simulator. Call and schedule a tee time today at 893-9000 or willowpondgolf.com.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon Tay, Jeremy Warner. I cannot get into today. I don't know if it's because it's a Monday.
It's a short show because of Cardinals Reds.
And it's not just this. Like, I got to the office.
Summer now.
Maybe. Because I got to the office today and I sat there and I had I usually try to leave myself with like 3 very small tasks to do right when I get to the office. Because what it does is it gets me rolling. Right? I feel like, all right, man, you just did 3 things. You're on a roll.
You do a couple things. It's like, hey, I'm getting stuff accomplished.
That's exactly right. So that's kind of how I leave it every day. If I have something that's really not that urgent, but I'll put it on my desk. I'll be like, all right, tomorrow I'll start with that, and boom, but today, like, I started to do that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to read the paper. And then I started to do that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to look at this article on the Cardinals and Cubs. And just the whole day, I'm like, I just cannot get rolling.
So do you, like, we're going to have Claibs on to talk Cardinal Cubs.
Yes.
Do you have any just lingering thoughts from that series?
No, I don't. It's just
they're just better than you.
They are. They totally are. The most,
and it's in Wrigley.
Right,
it's Wrigley. You had a great chance yesterday.
And honestly, you had a chance to win 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And
you had a lead.
Just blows up.
Correct. You had a lead in all 3 games fairly late.
Do you feel like you've gotten the most out of that starting pitching staff and you totally missed your opportunity with it?
There's no doubt.
Because, they were great for what? I mean, first 2 months of the season.
Yes.
And you didn't take advantage of it. Your defense stinks.
That's the problem.
Your base running's terrible.
Scotty has an error yesterday.
He hit a bomb, though.
The base running, he did hit a bomb. The base running has always been, that's just the. And then you got Luke Weaver, who's just tearing it up down in AAA. He's got an ERA of 2, basically.
Yeah, send Leak down.
So you've got all this. My biggest question for Mike, and when Colton Wong comes back to the team, is this the end of Peralta? They got rid of Broxton. this be the end of Johnny Peralta? I think it's just slowly getting to that point where he has no extra base hits and he has no RBI. Yeah. He's the only guy with minimum 50 at-bats with that. That's amazing.
So the NBA postseason of uncompetitiveness, if that's a word, continues. Though last night was really fun to watch. It was
fun, yeah.
You know me, I love to watch greatness, and I've really wanted to watch LeBron James, and he was great last night.
Sure.
He's been phenomenal this entire playoffs and his entire career. But the Warriors thing.
Oh, wow.
Watching them play basketball.
It's so fun.
I mean, it's basketball porn.
It really is.
Like offensively. And the Cavs are trying defensively, but if Klay Thompson has an off night, it doesn't matter. No. Because you got Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, two of the three best players in the NBA, right there to score 30. Draymond Green can do it. And then the Cavs, like nobody, like Kyrie's not having a good series.
No, he's not.
Tristan Thompson's not having a good series. Kyle Korver's been terrible. Darren Williams has been terrible.
Right.
J.R. Smith has been terrible. He needs somebody else to step up. Kevin Love's been solid.
Yeah, he's decent.
But LeBron, he can't beat this team by himself.
No.
Right? Like last year, he was awesome. And
Kyrie was awesome.
Yeah, and Kyrie stepped up enough to where they could win those last 3 games. 2 years ago, he won a couple games by himself. I still think he'll win a game by himself.
I do too.
But he can't. I mean, this Warriors thing.
They're so good, Jeremy.
They have just more weapons than more elite weapons than any NBA team I've ever seen.
I know there's a segment of you out there that do not watch the NBA. I know that. Yeah. We know it. You and I know this. And I'm usually one of those guys. I'm usually not.
If you're looking for drama,
you're not going to find it.
You're not going to find it right now in the NBA
Give
playoffs.
yourself a chance to watch this Golden State team if you haven't seen them yet.
It's the most beautiful basketball I've ever seen.
And you know what? If you're one of me, and you're one of these guys that's my age, you don't watch the NBA much because you loved the 80s.
There's no skill involved.
Right.
You watched last night?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, my gosh.
If you were in love with the 80s in basketball, and I know ESPN's going to do this 30 for 30 on the Celtics and Lakers.
When men were men.
Yes. If you were in love with that, then you'd be in love with Golden State Warrior basketball. It's so fun to watch.
I mean, the 90s was great because of Jordan and the Bulls.
Yes.
The basketball was pretty ugly, though.
No, it was.
Right? I mean, it was physical.
It really was.
But
I think of Allen Iverson.
I mean, it was 80 and 90-point games.
Correct.
I'm thinking of Miami Heat and Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers who were just ugly and mucked it up. This is free-flowing, beautiful basketball that's kind of come over from Europe and that kind of influence.
I mean, Golden State had 102 points after 3 quarters last night.
And Cleveland was playing solid defense.
Right. You watch some of those. I watched the game, but you'd watch even clips. If you just see clips and highlights, Cleveland looks like they're just running around crazy, but they actually deployed a fairly solid defense. It's just Golden State is that talented and that tough to stop.
And just think, if Golden State would have just won one of the last 3 games last year, I think we'd be talking about one of the most dominant 3-year stretches in basketball
history. That'd be 3
history.
straight, wouldn't it? And they're not going anywhere. I don't think they're going anywhere, especially if Durant likes it there. Could be interesting.
Cardinals Cubs talk with Mike Claiborne, KMOX, and the Cardinals broadcast coming up next. We also got next question for you.
Yeah, we'll do it all next. It is the Tay and J Show. John Gross, you're next.
If you really want to enjoy life's celebrations, you need to call Rosati's Pizza for their comfortable catering package for 10 for just $92.35. Rosati's will serve you, along with your friends, families, and coworkers, a delicious lunch or dinner for under $100. Feed them all with Italian beef, pasta salad, and garlic bread. It's all about good food at Rosati's. Having a party, picnic, hosting a celebration? Call Rosati's for their comfortable catering package for 10. Rosati's Pizza, 701 South Gregory in Urbana, or call 328-2334.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Duracon from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days, mortgage loans, and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Urbana Business Association is excited to present the 4th annual Uncork Urbana Wine Festival on Saturday, June 10th. This year's festival is jam-packed with live local entertainment, wine basket raffles, amazing food trucks, and will feature Market at the Square's live cooking demonstrations from CU's finest chefs. And not to mention, we will have amazing Illinois wineries showcasing their remarkable wine. Grab your lawn chairs and blankets and join us at the beautiful Meadowbrook Park. For more information and to purchase tickets, make your way to the UBA or visit urbanabusiness.com.
Protecting your home and family, you better have a plan. Keep them safe from harm with the home alarm from F.E. Moran. Home invasions are on the rise all across the land, but they'll think twice when they see the sign for F.E. Moran. Don't wait till it's too late, it's time to make a stand. Call 877-FE Moran. F.E. Moran. Alarm.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Live from New York, The Fox Report.
I'm Lisa Brady. Fired FBI Director James Comey is due before the Senate Intelligence Committee on Thursday, and the White House now says President Trump will not use executive privilege to block Comey's testimony. Fox's Mike Emanuel.
There is tremendous anticipation ahead of former FBI Director Comey's expected appearance up here on Capitol Hill. Comey has not spoken publicly since he was fired on May 9th. Lawmakers are expected to ask many questions about Comey's interactions with the president,
including the report of a Comey memo suggesting the president pressured him to drop the probe of fired National Security Advisor Michael Flynn's Russia contacts. President Trump proposing an overhaul of the nation's air traffic control system. He wants to privatize it.
It's time to join the future. That is why I'm proposing new principles to Congress for air traffic control reform, making flights quicker, safer, and more reliable.
And he notes the controllers themselves want changes, but some Democrats say it'll make the system less safe. Criminal charges just announced in a California warehouse fire that killed 36 people at a party in December. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal is live in L.A.
Police Alameda County DA Nancy O'Malley announced charges of involuntary manslaughter against Derek Almena and Max Harris. They were the two main tenants at the warehouse.
Defendants Almena and Harris knowingly created a fire trap with inadequate means of escape. They then filled that area with human beings.
O'Malley adding that they illegally rented out space for people to live in the warehouse, filled the place with flammable clutter, and blocked an exit. She said they also deceived fire and building authorities about the warehouse conditions, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. A record-setting streak is snapped on Wall Street. The Dow down 22 points, the NASDAQ down 10, the S&P slips nearly 3. On the Fox Report, fair and balanced.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's a line in the sand. On one side, your family. On the other, an uncertain world.
For over 140 years, more people have chosen ADT to help prevent crime than anyone else. Get ADT starting at just $28.99 a month.
Tested, trusted, proven ADT.
With 36-month contract for licensing and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Dozens of women accuse comedian Bill Cosby of sexual misconduct, but there's only one criminal case against him, and that trial is now underway. Fox's Gernal Scott is live at the courthouse in Norristown, Pennsylvania.
Lisa, Andrea Constand is the one and only plaintiff in this sexual assault case against the comedian. But late this afternoon, a second accuser, allowed by the judge to testify, detailed the Los Angeles encounter with Cosby a little more than 2 decades ago, where she said she passed out after taking a large white pill he gave her. Prosecutors hope the account establishes a pattern of behavior by the comedian. Cosby's defense continues to hammer at Constand's credibility and what they say is her changing story as day one of the trial comes to a close. Lisa.
Thanks, Colonel. A mass shooting this morning at an awnings company in Orlando is being blamed on a disgruntled ex-employee.
Shot 5 innocent people this morning and then turned the gun on himself and killed himself.
Orange County Sheriff Jerry Deming says the 45-year-old gunman had been accused of assaulting a coworker 3 years ago. He was fired in April. Police say one of the 3 killers in the London terror attack over the weekend had been on the intelligence radar for 2 years, but there was no indication of any terror plot. 2 of the men who were shot by police have been identified now as British citizens, one born in Pakistan, another claiming to be Moroccan and Libyan. He may not have been a household name in the U.S., but his voice is known to millions around the world, from the Academy Award-winning cartoon Wallace and Gromit. British actor Peter Sallis has died. He was 96 and famous in Britain for the long-running sitcom Last of the Summer Wine. The quest for hockey's Stanley Cup resumes tonight with the defending champs, the Pittsburgh Penguins, leading by 2-1. The Predators hoping to tie the series with another win at home in Nashville. I'm Lisa Brady on Fox News Radio.
Yeah, quit throwing stuff on the ice, Nashville fans. Their coach took to Twitter today.
Why?
He's like, quit throwing things on the ice. They threw cowboy hats, a stuffed penguin.
There are a lot of catfish, right?
Right. Well, it's like,
I mean,
Nashville, quit. I know you're new to this.
All right, if this were like any other animal,
yeah.
Like, why is it okay that we just throw dead catfish out there?
Right. An octopus and
like, what if you threw like a dead cat?
Yeah, no, the world would go crazy.
I know, but it's a catfish, so I know. Fish don't have feelings.
At
right?
least it was a stuffed penguin, right? The fish. I used to think of that was I took another one off and filleted it. I'm like, boy, I hope this guy doesn't feel it.
Yeah, okay, the fish just don't feel.
Just don't feel no pain.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Check your ACs with the experts. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com.
10 seconds.
Tonight, clear, low 53. Tomorrow, beautiful, sunny, clear, high 78, low 54. Wednesday, 75 and sunny, low 53. Right now, partly cloudy, but 92 degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
Well done. If you are looking for insurance, I can tell you the company. Pekin Insurance. Visit them, pekininsurance.com. Excellent claim service, auto, home, life. You can do commercial. They do it all at Pekin Insurance. They're worth checking out. Find an agent near you. pekininsurance.com. They sponsor our visits with Mike Claiborne.
Now let's get to the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line. Don't forget, Monday is family night at Jupiter's The Crossing. Families who dine in get 1 large, 1-topping pizza, soft drinks, breadsticks, and 25 game tokens for just $25.
Mike Claiborne, how are you, my friend?
Well, I'm okay. I'm okay.
And then Chicago happened.
Yeah, it's not quite Flag Day here, Mike, but
but you know what? We have the rope out to raise it here pretty soon. So it's been an interesting run here.
It has.
Because, for a lot of people, they've never seen this before from a Cardinal team. And you think about how many good years they've had in succession where they compete, they're good fundamentally, they got a face on the team. They don't have any of that right now. So it's really a challenge. And we're going to find out what we're made of here in the next month or so.
Without a doubt. It is funny. Jeremy and I had a great conversation. How do you make the Cardinals great again? We did that last week, and there were a lot of points.
I don't know if you can use that line, can you? I think somebody's already taken it.
Right, that's right. Right. How do we make them good
again?
Make
it great again. I think you're out of luck on that one.
We're out. Yeah, that one we better step aside or we're going to get in trouble.
You may be getting a phone call any minute about that.
But, like I told him, all those years you had Albert Pujols, you had Jim Edmonds, you had Lance Berkman, you had Carlos Beltran. You always had those guys in the middle of the order. And right now, Carp's doing his thing, and I know Jeremy will ask you about him, but you just really don't have kind of that star. I know Yachty's the guy.
Well, and the one guy you hoped would be there.
Yes, is not, with Oscar Taveras.
Yeah,
and that's what we talked about.
Well, let me make it real simple for you because I've asked this question to my friends here recently. If you were the opposition, who's the one guy on the Cardinals you'd say, well, we're not going to let this guy beat us or we're going to pitch around? The answer is no one. There's not a guy in this lineup that scares you. Wow. Yachty's a guy that's going to be a tough out. But, you don't think guys aren't scared to pitch to Matt Carpenter anymore? One of the things about Carpenter, he's a career 284 hitter, okay? But that's really predicated on what he did in those first couple of years where he hit over 300. He hit 272, 271, 271. And what is he? I don't even think he's at 220 now.
I don't think so.
So that means he's going to have to be on fire just to get to his average for the remainder of the year. And I don't think that's going to happen. Dexter Fowler, I don't ever put a lot of stock in any guy in the first year of a big contract because I think that a lot of guys press. I think there's a lot of different situations that are involved. But I was told by Thomas Harding, who covers the Rockies and who's seen a lot of Dexter Fowler, he said he's going to get off slow. He's going to find his niche. He's going to get hot for about 3 weeks. Then he'll level off to be the guy that you were hoping he was going to be.
Got it.
So I'll wait on that. We didn't know what Diaz was going to bring here this year because, he was a rookie last year, hit 300. He's fighting it a little bit. Stephen Piscotty's had an awful season, even from spring training.
Sure.
Randall Grichuk, he's in single A, and he just played his first game yesterday. They had him on the shelf for 4 days before they turned him loose against somebody in a different uniform.
Wow.
So there are a lot of things that are going on. But I want to run this one by you guys. I rolled this up the flagpole today with somebody. Michael Walker is somewhat of an enigma. I think you would agree now.
Yes, correct.
We know he's good early. He's bad late. So is Michael Walker a Trevor Miller where he pitches twice, 3 times a week, 2 innings a night? He's your bridge guy to get you to your closer or your setup guy. Or to take it one step further, what's wrong with Michael Walker closing? We know he's got good stuff for at least 1 inning, maybe 2.
That's a great point.
And at this stage of the game, if you look at the good teams, they all have more than one guy that has closing experience. Because you can't use your closer every night because he'll just burn up.
I guess, would they worry about Walker's injuries and pitching him 3 times a week? Would they worry about that, you think?
Well, I think, you have to be smart about it. He's got to be honest about it. But I think that, just coming out and giving you 3.5, 4 innings and then getting lit up, it's not doing anybody. It's killing the bullpen.
I agree. And you got Luke Weaver down there.
Here's where I go with this. I've seen it happen where you saw Dennis Eckersley and John Smoltz go from starters to closers. They went to the bullpen and revitalized their careers. There are other guys that have done it that used to be starters. I think Michael Walker, if you got a 97-mile-an-hour fastball and you got this really knockout changeup that guys can't seem to catch up to, and then you throw that curveball, so now if you're a hitter late in the game, you got 3 pitches to worry about that he can get you out on.
That's a good call.
Compared to the normal closer who comes in and he's got 2 pitches. He's got a fastball and maybe he's got a cutter or a changeup that throws you off balance.
I like it.
So, Mike, where's the Cardinals organization at then? Because a lot of people do we make big changes here? Do they make a big move? Because they're in that middle, which is always difficult. Is it sell time? Do we try and build for the future?
No. I think what you're doing now, Jeremy, that's a great question because I know a lot of people are like, we got to do something. We got to trade for Aaron Judge and see if they'll take, like 4 guys from Springfield. Chad Huffman can help him. Yeah. He's got some experience. I mean, those deals don't exist anymore. Okay, general managers who used to do those deals are no longer general managers.
Right.
Mainly because they did those deals like that. What your options are this. You look within your organization. You're going to have to make a tough decision on people. And if you've got somebody who can give you a spark, then you go with it. If there isn't any help for the immediate time being, then you have to look around. The first question you ask yourself is, who are we willing to part with in order to make our ball club better? So basically you have a protected list of if they say, well, what about Sierra? No, not available.
Right.
Well, what about this guy? No, not available. However, we've got a guy that's playing in our organization. We've got 4 other guys playing at that position. He probably could help you more than any of these other guys we're talking about. I think you have to be very creative in looking at your assets before you say, I'm going to go make a deal. What are you willing to part with?
Sure.
And I got news for you. With the exception of Molina and you've already got Fowler signed to a long-term deal, as do you have Piscotty, I'm listening for anybody else and everybody else on my team.
Love visiting with Mike Claiborne, KMOX, breaking down the St. Louis Cardinals, as always brought to you by Pekin Insurance. Visit them at PekinInsurance.com. I read something today, I believe it was Jennifer Langosh, one of your friends down there, that had mentioned a lot of people wondering about Johnny Peralta. 0 extra base hits, 0 RBI, really no power from Peralta, and they think, all right,
other than that, he's a nice guy, right?
Right, he's a super guy other than that. I mean, is it time? I know it's weird because when you signed Peralta, it worked out, right? Yeah. It's worked out, and you knew maybe this last year would be the year where you're like, maybe a little too late, but that's or too much, but you knew that's what you have to do. Is it time to let him go, kind of like Broxton?
Well, you know what? It's appropriate that we're speaking on baseball terms. I think in order to sum up Johnny Peralta's situation, bottom of the ninth. I think he's in the bottom of the ninth of his term here in St. Louis.
Good call.
You know, and here's the other side of Johnny Peralta. First of all, he's one of the few leaders on this ball club. He's one of the few guys that would talk to these young guys and teach them the game and what he's learned, whether it's the hitter, whether it's the pitchers, or how to play defensively. To watch him work with younger guys, and he's a real soft-spoken guy. I mean, very camera shy, very microphone shy, but if you get him away and you don't have that, he's been really one of the glue guys on the ball club. We don't have a lot of them.
No.
So you're going to miss that leadership. But you know what? No one wants to end their career in an embarrassing manner, and right now he's borderline embarrassing himself.
Agree.
You know, I mean, he's going to get his money. He's going to walk away with his, I believe it was a little over $40 million he was going to get over the course of the time he was here. And he's had a really good career.
Yes.
But I don't think he can help you right now, especially when Wong comes back and the way DeYoung is playing. Mm-hmm. I just don't see where there's a place for him.
I don't think we've talked to you since Matt Adams got traded, and he's hitting .268 with 5 home runs in 13 games in Atlanta.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you. I think everybody knew he was going to. I'll tell you a quick story about it, and I'm glad you brought his name up. So when the deal, I got a call like 2 days before from somebody who wanted to know, what do you think of Adams? You think he can help somebody? And I said, yeah, I think he can help. He's a good guy in the room, and you know what? He just needs a place to play. Yeah. So lo and behold, the Braves trade for him. So I talked to somebody in their organization, and he said that when we went in and told our guys that we were picking up Matt Adams, Brandon Phillips stood up and said, we got a chance now. Because Phillips has seen him in St. Louis when he was in Cincinnati, and he knew he could play, but he just didn't get a chance.
Right.
And Phillips told everybody, he said, hey, we got a chance to make this interesting now because we got a guy that can help us. And when he walked in the clubhouse, they were high-fiving him like he'd already hit a home run. They were excited. And he has just been a godsend in that ball club since he's been there. And they told him, hey, look, we're worried about Freddie Freeman when Freddie Freeman's ready to play. You just worry about going out having fun and being the player we know you can be.
Should I be more upset as a Cardinals fan that they traded Matt Adams? And I'll be honest with you, Mike.
Well, you should be upset for what they got back.
Yes. Right. Because at the time, I remember Jeremy and I talking that day, and I'm like, I'm happy for Matt.
Well, I always kept telling you guys, like, hey, the White Sox could use a corner infielder to hit some pop there.
Well, and you had the game against the Cubs Saturday night, I think. You're down a run or down 2 with a guy on, and you don't have anybody off the bench really to hit a home run, and it's like, this is where Matt Adams would have.
We gave that option away.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And he was our best pinch hitter. But you know what? In fairness to the Cardinals, they did the guy a favor.
They did.
Okay? They lost confidence in what he could do for them here, but they gave him a chance to go somewhere and play every day. And you know what? Atlanta is a team where I don't know if they're going to get in, but I would not want to go to Atlanta in the month of September trying to get 2 out of 3. And if you don't think so, ask Detroit. Remember, Detroit had to go in there last year and get 2 out of 3 in order to get the playoffs, and they got swept.
Mike
so
Claiborne.
They're going to be a pretty good ball club.
Mike, it feels like the Cardinals have wasted a lot of good starting pitching so far this year, but Carlos Martinez has been a very, very big positive so far this season. Just what kind of maturation have you seen from him?
Boy, that's a good question. I was with Bill DeWitt III the other night, and we got on the subject of Carlos maturing, and he just said, he's an ace now. And I was like, yeah, you're right, because he has grown up so much. I mean, granted, he's still a fun-loving guy. He still likes to have a good time. But when it's time for business, Carlos Martinez shows up. One of the things that he's got working for him, I mean, everybody knows he can throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Right. But he's getting guys out with cutters and sliders and changeups and curves. I just mentioned 4 pitches that he can get over for strikes.
Wow.
I mean, how many guys in the game that can do that, not to mention he can show you a 98-mile-an-hour heater that you got no chance at hitting, especially when he throws a four-seamer. You got no chance. And now he's so comfortable in his ability to get pitches over. He and Yadier Molina are on the same page a lot of times about how to go after guys. He's fearless. And you know what? He's a pretty good athlete. I think the best athletes on the team are, it's Tommy Pham, and then it's 3 pitchers. Martinez, Matt Bowman, and Mike Leake. Not necessarily in that order, but all those guys can do more than one thing. Ironically, Martinez was a shortstop as a kid. And he always wants to remind me of that every time he has a hit. He said, well, I used to play shortstop. I said, you must not have been that good. And he said, what do you mean? I said, because you're pitching now, and they don't let anybody get near a bat in this situation. So he's a fun guy. I think he's matured, and it's going to take him some time. But you know what? He's immersed himself into the community. He's got a foundation here in St. Louis that supports kids in Illinois. He also gathers, I think it was 3 dozen trash bags, big garbage bags worth of baseball equipment that he distributed in the DR and also in the Illinois area, in southern Illinois. So, he's very much involved. He's a good teammate. I mean, you never hear anybody say anything bad about him. His preparation, he knows what he's got to do. And he takes losses with the best of them, with the best of them. But he's always there when it's time to be interviewed. He says the right things. Couldn't be happier for a guy that we watch grow right in front of us.
Mike, I want to ask you, that's a cool thing, too, about Carlos. I want to ask you kind of an overview. Jeremy and I talk about this a lot, and I know it bugs Jeremy with regards to the way baseball kind of polices itself. And, of course, we had the Bryce Harper thing. I won't even bring up how he threw his helmet. I don't know what he was trying to do in that sense.
I'm just going to call it a distraction.
Right.
He wanted to get his mind off of what he's about to do.
I'm going to throw this 500 feet this way. Yeah. What do you think of the fight in baseball? Not that general fight, but I guess the policing itself.
You know what? I've seen better fights at family reunions. Okay? I have. None of these guys can fight.
No.
It's a lot of huffing and puffing. But I think that what you have to take into account, I think you have to be accountable for your actions. Now, the story is starting to circulate that Strickland told everybody, let him go. I want it. But nobody thought he was going to do it with a 2-0 lead.
Right.
Now that's just stupid on his part. But I think it's part of the game, and I think it's always going to be there because, baseball players do a lot of huffing and puffing, but they don't get much done.
Right. Yeah.
Okay?
Good call.
I mean, there's a term I like to use. They fight like seniors. Well, anyway, I don't get much out of it. I understand it, and I think we as fans get worked up because, oh, man, look at these guys. And, it leads every newscast.
Oh, sure.
I mean, a guy can go out and throw – if Anderson Volquez threw a no-hitter and somebody charged him out, it would be the third story of the night.
That's true.
People love watching that stuff, and I get it. I think here's my philosophy on fighting. I'm too old to do it for no unknown reason. So I save the fights I think I can win to defend my family and close friends. But 2, I'm not going to get involved in a fight unless it's my family or friends or the guy I came with.
Yep.
I'm not going to get out there and do anything. But so we as fans are more civil, but we love to watch somebody else do it.
You're right.
It's just like hockey.
Yeah.
Yep. As Don Cherry used to say, you ever see a guy get up and go get a beer when a fight breaks out?
No, a good
call. He can hold his water to the men's room until the fight's over with. I mean, it just is what it is. It's just our society and how we view violence or the method of intimidation. I think that's also the key, too.
Well said.
Well
said.
Mike, I got one.
It is what it is.
Mike, I got one last one for you. Albert Pujols hits his 600th home run, 9th player to ever do it. You watched him a long time, and he's obviously not the player he was in St. Louis, but it was pretty cool to watch that the other night.
Well, I'm kind of mixed on it because I think I've shared it with you guys. I'm not a big fan of the guy, okay? But I always respected his skill set, all right? He was a guy that when he stepped to the plate, it's almost like watching a hockey fight. You stop what you were doing.
No doubt.
He's had some injuries, and he's had some things that have obviously slowed him down. But I can never question his skill set. His people skills are a whole different subject.
Right.
But I'm happy to see a guy who's put the work in to do what he's done to get there. I know everybody keeps talking about 700. Did anybody see how long it took him to get around the bases?
Right.
On Saturday night. I mean, his body is just, his body is I don't know if it's going to hold up. And he's a DH.
Mm.
So, but it's a great accomplishment. I mean, it says a lot about longevity in the game because there are certain things I don't think we'll see broken down the road. I don't think you'll see somebody break Ripken's record. I don't think DiMaggio's record will be broken. And I think you'll have a very small group of people that will hit 700 home runs, maybe 3. But I think you think about it, Albert's got to play 4 more years and hit 25 bombs just to get there.
Yeah, that's a long time.
That's
I agree.
A long time,
I
man.
agree. It's cool. It's cool to see it. I've told Jeremy before, I doubt in my lifetime I'll never see another 300-game winner, probably in baseball.
No, you won't.
So,
That's the other one you won't ever see. You won't ever see. And, there are certain things in sports that if you're blessed to see them, you know what?
Yes.
Just mark it down because you won't ever see it again. Your kids won't ever see it again. It has a lot to do with the money and the longevity.
Sure.
But, I think we've been blessed to be on the planet to watch some of the greatest athletes play at a certain time, and we'll have those great memories because I think when these kids get older, we can sit around and tell them we saw a guy do this, and they'll say, "Well, I don't believe that." I'll get a quick story. I know we're running short on time.
You're
Talk about how guys don't believe things. So we're in spring training a couple of years ago. There's a guy that was one of the bat manufacturers. And so I said to him, hey, you got any of those Richie Allen specials over there? He said, what do you mean? I said, some of those 42-ounce bats. He said, nobody swings a 42-ounce bat. I said, well, Richie Allen did.
Yeah.
And so Matt Holliday was sitting there. He said, nah, nobody could do that. And so Red Shandings was sitting there. So Red says, oh, yeah. He swung a 40 on certain days and a 42 when he got to the ballpark early. And so Holliday was like, he couldn't believe it, but it was Red Shandings telling him. And so I said, what do you swing? He said, 31, 32.
Wow.
I was like, you big enough to, lift a car and you swinging a bat that light. And his response was, well, they don't see the sort of pitching that we see today as far as guys who throw hard, have great location. I said, I'm going to remind you that Richie Allen played in an era with guys named Koufax and Drysdale and Gibson,
yes,
Jim Bunning and Gaylord Perry and Juan Marichal. I said, I think that's a pretty good era to be involved in. So it is what it is.
That's cool.
These kids today, what are they now?
Bat speed. It's all about bat speed.
Bat
now.
speed. Yes, I'm sure there's some analytical thing about why you need to use a 32-ounce bat.
I would give you instructions on analytics, but the kids are still listening.
Right, exactly. Mike Claiborne, it's insight you can't get anywhere else. KMOX, Cardinal broadcast team. We always enjoy it, my friend. I look forward already to the next one. Mike, thank you so much, buddy.
Well, the next time we talk, it'll be right after flag.
Yes.
And I'll be able to tell you what I think.
Okay, maybe the Cardinals will get on a roll. Look, same here, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
You guys take care. Take care of those families.
Okay, buddy. Mike Claiborne.
Later.
Great stuff, man. I love visiting with Mike Claiborne. He can bring you information that a lot of times you don't get.
Well, there's only one kid in his 20s, I can call him a kid because he's younger than me,
yes,
with more than 100 wins. That's Clayton Kershaw, has 133 at age 29. He's had a pretty good history of injuries until last year and still was deserving of Cy Young consideration.
So I'd say by 31, he'd get to 150. Maybe by 30. No,
by the end of this. Yeah, by the end of next season, he'll definitely have 150 if he's healthy.
So at 30 years old, he will have gotten there, and he's been pitching how long in the
I mean, if Kershaw can stay healthy until age 40.
That'd be what, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, you're going to need like Jim Cott to come along who played like 28 seasons in Major League Baseball.
Or if Bartolo keeps playing.
Well, right.
I mean, he's 44 and he's got 235 wins.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? And Bartolo Colon. Can you imagine somebody from another country, you come over and you're like, that guy's an athlete.
That guy's $1 million athlete.
They're like, what? That makes no sense.
When it comes to guys who can get to 600 home runs, Miggy's got a chance.
Okay.
His power is declining a little bit, and he's not. I mean, he's always been a good power hitter.
Sure.
But that's never been his game.
No.
Even Albert. I
Yep.
mean, Albert had some big years, but he was almost like Bonds in his prime. Bonds was hitting, 35 to 40.
Yep.
Pujols was hitting 340 every year,
That's
it seemed
the amazing part.
Carlos Beltran's at 428, Adrian Beltre at 446. Neither of those guys will get to 600.
No, it's amazing. I mean, and Clabe said it right. I mean, if you've seen somebody in your lifetime get 3,000 hits, which will still be accomplished, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But 300 wins, if you've seen that, and we have...
Saw, 3 in the last generation with Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, and Tom Glavine.
That's
and
unreal.
Roger Clemens.
And Roger
4,
Clemens,
yeah.
that's right. And then if you see somebody like Albert get to 600, those are things you really need to take into account because you're probably not going to see it again.
Well... We saw a lot of it in the last decade and a half.
We totally did. Well, and I think you got to the point almost where you just...
That's why
it
people are saying,
like not a big deal.
Is it as big of a deal? It's still a pretty big deal.
It's still a big deal. 359-2255. If you'd like to weigh in again, 217-359-2255.
That's a great Clabe segment right there.
Oh, man.
It's 429. Gotta get to a break.
That's him, man. The Clabe's Lounge. Tay and J Show.
When your car breaks down, you realize just how much you need it. And when it breaks down, Beaumont Alignment Plus steps up. For routine maintenance like brakes, oil changes, tune-ups, batteries, and tires, you can count on Beaumont Alignment Plus. Bigger issues including alignment, suspension work, starters, alternators, transmission requires specialists. So get to know Beaumont Alignment Plus for your vehicle repairs. With locations on Bloomington Road and Denison Drive in Champaign, you're never far from the help you need. It's good to know the quality service is still affordable at Beaumont Alignment Plus.
American Cancer Society's Relay for Life is coming to downtown Champaign on Saturday, June 17th.
Survivors plan on joining in on the opening ceremony with Carl, Ameren, and Walgreens to support the event. There's fun activities for the kids, including Joyful Bubbles, Kahuna Ice, and the Sydney Dairy Barn's Moo-Mobile.
June 17th in downtown Champaign's West Side Park. Details on Facebook or head to relayforlife.org/Champaign.
Carpenters Local 243 in Champaign, Illinois wants to thank the contractors, developers, and business owners who utilize the skills and services of union carpenters on their projects. Carpenters Local 243 members are part of the world's highest skilled, most productive workforce. Members and contractors are committed to apprenticeship training and an ongoing journeyman skill advancement program. This provides the labor resources to ensure projects are completed. For a list of responsible contractors, call Carpenters Local 243 at 356-5463.
Vapors e-cigs thinks it's time for you to take a permanent vacation from smoking. Take a permanent vacation away from cigarettes today. You'll smell better, you'll breathe better, and you'll feel better. Plus, you'll have more money than ever when you choose Vapors e-cigs. Come in today and taste the difference with a premium electronic vape. You can get started for less than a carton of cigarettes. So what are you waiting for? Stop by Vapors e-cigs today. Find them at Champaign across the street from Marketplace Mall at 2 West Main Street in Danville. And follow them on Facebook for great deal offers and giveaways.
Going on 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. And while you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook, ROCHS in St. Joseph.
Carpenters Local 243 in Champaign, Illinois wants to thank the contractors, developers, and business owners who utilize the skills and services of union carpenters on their projects. Carpenters Local 243 members are part of the world's highest skilled, most productive workforce. Members and contractors are committed to apprenticeship training and an ongoing journeyman skill advancement program. This provides the labor resources to ensure projects are completed. For a list of responsible contractors, call Carpenters Local 243 at 356-5463.
Our Stevie J Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month is Mike Cervantes, a K-9 officer with his dog Hunter. How does one become a K-9 officer?
Well, I was fortunate enough when Sergeant Lushin had the dog. I was in the street crimes unit with him. So as Hunter started his drug career per se. That's when I started also. For Hunter specifically, he's a narcotics detection and human detection dog. So if somebody, say a little kid walks away from a place, or an older person walks away from a nursing home, something like that, he's able to track them down. He's also able to do article recoveries. So if somebody's running from us and they toss a gun, somebody loses their keys, which we've helped do that before, he can go in an area and I can give him the command to search for that human odor, and he can find that. He's also able to detect odors of illegal narcotic.
Brought to you by F.E. Moran Security Solutions. Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy. Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
4:34. I'm Jeremy Warner with your Sports Center update. June 5th, and the college basketball coaching carousel is not done spinning yet.
Interesting.
Thad Matta out as Ohio State coach after 13 seasons. Highly successful tenure at a 740 Big Ten winning percentage. That's the best ever for a Big Ten coach that stayed for a decade or longer. But why the late canning? Here's Gene Smith, Ohio State AD.
You know, I felt confident after the season. Once Thad and I sat down, we had a good plan going into the summer. Recruiting is a major part of it, of that plan. We weren't winning the battles in recruiting that I thought we might have a chance to win, as he did. Mm-hmm. And so as we started talking about that on Friday, which was 3 months or so after that meeting we had, it's the flow of the conversation took me to the reality that, you know what, as I said to him, that maybe it's time for us to make a leadership change. And then he agreed. And recruiting, as we all know, is the lifeblood of this program.
And speaking of recruiting, Illinois football lost out on four-star linebacker Dele Adeoyo. He out of St. Louis committed to Texas last night over Illinois. Illini currently have 2 commits in the class of 2018. LeBron James had a triple-double midway through the third quarter, but the Cavs still got routed by the Warriors. 132-113. Golden State a 2-0 lead as the series moves to Cleveland. Game 3 Wednesday. Game 4 of the Stanley Cups tonight. Nashville look to even up the series. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. MLB, White Sox and Cubs have the day off, and after getting swept by the Cubs, Cardinals in Cincinnati for a 6:10 first pitch. Carlos Martinez against Asher Wojciechowski. Hear it here, loud and clear, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hey, explore issues that matter most to you, your family, and your financial future with The Pillar. It's the new issue of Busey's comprehensive publication, and it's available now. Turn the pages of The Pillar for a variety of resources and advice from Busey's experts. Busey breaks down the real rewards and real costs of a fixer-upper. From HGTV's Fixer-Upper and PBS Ask This Old House, home improvement is made easy. Read about 9 leaders in our communities and the sacrifice, hard work, and strength it took to leave a lasting legacy. Whether you want to retire worry-free or pay your child's or grandchildren's education, well, in The Pillar, you can explore Busey Wealth Management's personalized approach to help plan for your financial future. Visit Busey.com to read The Pillar. To sign up to receive your copy or request more information, visit the publication page in the Resource Center. Again, visit the publications page in the Resource Center. That is Busey, member FDIC.
I believe we have John Gross on the line, ready for next question.
He
coming up soon.
He was not happy with joining us today.
Is that because Thad got fired?
I think so. But
I mean, I love this parting of way. Thad got fired.
He did. Oh, there's no doubt, right?
Which is amazing given the run he's had.
When you hear Gene Smith essentially say, "Look, you're not getting it done recruiting," then we're going to step in another direction.
Next question.
Hey.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, so
John doesn't want to talk about it.
Yes, he was reluctant.
John, do you have any comment on Thad Matta getting fired just months after you did, and the Matta tree now being out of the Big Ten?
Next question.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. He paused a little bit.
You sure, John? Are you sure?
Next question.
Okay. It seems
Next
like
question.
All right, I got it.
Next question.
Yeah. Wow.
Next question.
Okay, that's enough.
Wait, I got to do it 6 times. It's the thing.
Next question.
It's an OCD thing of mine.
You got to do even?
Yes. Do you ever do that?
No.
Okay. Do you ever walk down a sidewalk and your right foot steps on a crack and then your left foot has to step on a crack?
When I was 7.
Okay. Do any of you guys do that in there? Everybody does.
You're all weird.
I know we are weird. I am part of the weird tree. But I will do that. If I walk into a room and I brush against a door with my right arm, I will brush against it with my left. I'm kidding you. I'm not kidding you. I mean,
you might want to see a therapist. Just saying.
Just listen, Lon's a little strange. We all know this. Oh, man. I do. I really honestly do that. And everything's got to be an even.
Next question.
Okay. Hey, Jeremy.
We got it, John.
Illinois football recruiting target. Dele committed to Texas. Are you more pessimistic or optimistic about the Illini class of 2018? And how serious should I be on this? Like this one, I'm just kind of brushing under the rug like, it's a 4-star guy.
And it's Texas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this single recruitment, I think it's amazing that Illinois was able to get in on this.
Okay.
And it's amazing. It seemed like an Illinois-Texas battle. But Texas has Tom Herman. The burnt orange, guys, is a little bit more appealing to people.
No doubt.
Especially big-time recruits than whatever shade of orange Illinois has now.
Right.
So, yes, I think it's going to – this hurts when you combine it with all the other top targets that have missed. But they had Vertus Brown on campus this weekend yet again. And he said great things about Illinois yet again. Now, that is an Illinois-Ohio State battle.
Okay.
But when he continues to show up to Illinois, that's a good sign. Ronnie Perkins out of St. Louis, they seem to have a chance at now and are in top competition for him. It's early. It's June 5th. February 7th is signing day. It's 247 days away.
Right.
There's a lot of time, but I will say the top targets that they've been focused on and that they put a lot of effort into
are still there,
are starting to come off the board.
Oh.
A lot earlier than they were last year when every time you asked me, is it time to freak out yet?
Right.
I kept saying, well, all these guys are still available
Yeah,
that
they're not going
after. This year they're committing a little quicker.
Okay.
But so guys like TJ Ivey, Gavin McCabe, Vertus Brown, Ronnie Perkins, some kids out of St. Louis, Cannon Brooks, who they were the first Power 5 to offer, Nick Williams. But last year at this time, we didn't think Kendrick Green, Alex Palczewski, and Nate Hobbs were going to be big-time recruits.
Not at all.
Ended up being big-time recruits by the scout evaluation services. So I do think there's time to put together a good class. My expectations have never been for them to get the Regis Benz of the world early.
Right.
Even Zook took his third class before he got those guys. And even that class wasn't his best class. It was the next that were ranked 35th and 40th or whatever it was.
Good call.
This is going to be more of a build like Iowa, like, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. You have to evaluate prospects. They've done a pretty good job of that and build it up from there, win some games. I do think Lovey needs to look at his staff and figure out, I might need another ace recruiter.
Okay.
A more proven recruiter. This process has been more speeded up than I think he imagined, that you got to get in earlier on kids.
It seems like they slow roll a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's fine with a lot of kids, but certain kids where you're like, okay, that kid's nice, but I want to get this kid first. You might not be able to do that at Illinois.
Correct.
You can do that at Texas and Ohio State. You might not be able to do that at Illinois. So I do think the staff is learning, and I think, last year they were able to hit on a lot of their targets. If they're not able to do that this year, it might not be as great of a class, but this is a long rebuild.
Yes,
and
it is.
You had a solid foundation last year. You just got to build on it, add more good prospects this year. And they do evaluate well, and they do seem to know exactly the kind of kids who fit in their scheme.
I like if you're rebuilding that offensive line, and Vertus Brown would help that, right?
Well, he's a defensive line.
Defense.
Illinois sees him as a defensive line, but he can't play offensive line, though.
Either way, either line, if you're adding guys like that, if
He's
they can get
one.
him, that'd be huge.
He'd be a big one. Yeah.
It would be, without a doubt.
Next question.
All right, Juan. Over under Cavs wins in the NBA Finals. 1.5.
I'm going under. I know you and I both said 6, but this team is on a mission. This Golden State team is on a mission.
Kevin Durant is so good.
Kevin's so good. And
I mean, we're starting to see maybe what he like. You can start to see why he left Russ.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden there are things that have opened up in this offense.
Yes.
That Russ just didn't allow him.
No, that's exactly right.
Kevin Durant running the point basically and dishing out to everybody. He's getting
amazing.
Like 8 assists a game in the finals. Like that we didn't see. And
I mean, who do you stop? There's no way to do this.
Too many weapons.
I mean, when Durant is breaking free down the middle of the court for dunks, it's like, I mean, in Oklahoma City, it was Russell and him. It was Westbrook and Durant, and that was pretty much you let everybody else beat you. You can't do that in Golden State. So no, I'm going the under here.
I'm going under too.
If you could have gone 0 there, and I may have just taken it. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if I assume the Cavs will win one game, but that's it. And they're going back home. Just don't ask LeBron about that.
Next question.
If the Warriors sweep the Cavs, is this the greatest season in NBA history?
It's up there.
It's up. I always have to be careful with these because we live in the now.
No one has ever swept the NBA playoffs, right?
That's right. Yeah, the Sixers came
and
close.
I know Kawhi Leonard was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know the Rockets weren't
That's
great.
impressive, though, if they sweep this entire thing.
Right, they didn't play the Rockets. Yeah, they did play. Did they? No, they didn't play the Rockets. The Spurs beat the Rockets.
Yeah.
I know the West wasn't great, but Cleveland's a great team.
Yes, they are. And you're playing the best player in the world.
And would they win, 67 games this year? Something like that?
How dare them?
I mean, the 98 or 96 Bulls, one of the best I've ever seen. The 2000 Lakers, one of the most dominant teams I've seen. Those Celtics and Lakers teams had great seasons.
They were just so comparable that they beat up on each other.
But more dominant? I mean, this has been one of the most dominant single seasons
without a
we've
doubt
ever seen.
Don't you did you mention the Sixers in 83?
Fo.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't happen. Fo.
Next question.
Lon, is 600 home runs still a big milestone?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Yes, absolutely it is. And you'll notice that you'll slowly, as you kids grow and learn in life, you'll slowly realize that not many are going to hit that plateau again. So Albert Pujols doing it, and doing it with a grand slam. Really cool.
That was cool.
Really cool.
By the way, I said the Cubs have off. They play the Marlins today.
Oh, yeah, they do.
You can hear that on our sister station, US 105.9.
Lon Tay has them projected to lose tonight.
Okay.
In fact. But no, I think, yes, it's a big milestone. I think that's cool. That's a good, clean, speaking of even numbers, it's a good, clean, even number. Yeah, 600, man. That is a lot of home runs, Jeremy.
I just can't believe. I usually don't get on, hey, the media's making this story. Like, the story that, this isn't being treated as a big deal. Like, they're making a big deal that this isn't a big deal, which, does that make it a big deal?
Yes, it does. That means it is a big deal.
I mean, this was the number one play on SportsCenter, him hitting the 600th home run. They were playing it all the time. People on Twitter are all talking about
absolutely.
it. So, yeah, this is still a huge deal. He's one of 9 players to ever do it. He's a no doubt Hall of Famer. I do think it's maybe the hysteria leading up to it wasn't huge because he's playing for a bad team.
Right.
And I don't think it's just because of the West Coast. If you're playing for the Dodgers, this would be a bigger deal. But he's playing for the Angels, who stink.
No doubt.
And he's not one of the elite players in the game anymore. He's, I don't want to say a shell of himself because he's still hitting 30-something bombs a year.
But still.
He's just not the same hitter.
The amazing thing with him, and you said it, there's not one, you don't look back on his records and see a 58 home run season. It's so consistent, and that's what Albert Pujols has been his entire career.
It was Hank Aaron-like. Hank Aaron was just consistently 40 home runs a year.
Never hit like a 60 home run kind of thing like some guys did.
Most Albert ever hit in the season was 47 in 2009.
I was going to guess 46.
Or 49. Sorry, 49 in 2006.
Okay, so that's pretty impressive.
Never hit 50.
But that's unbelievable. And now he is just a model of consistency rolling along.
Next question.
Juan, where's Albert Pujols rank among hitters in your lifetime?
He is number 1 for me.
Ooh,
he's number 1. And I have given that thought with Bonds.
I can't put him above Bonds.
I put that with Bonds. With Griffey.
I think he's better than Griffey, no doubt. As a hitter.
Miggy.
We're just talking hitter.
Yes, Miggy. The way Albert Pujols could use every field. He could use every spot on that field. Opposite field. Not that Bonds couldn't. Bonds could do anything. I know that. Bonds was amazing. But to me, Albert Pujols was the best hitter I've ever seen. Tony Gwynn is up there as well.
Pujols is in my top 3. It's Bonds, probably Pujols, and Miggy Cabrera.
Yeah, that's a good solid 3.
If he would have stayed healthy.
Yes.
Frank Thomas would have been.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, just a pure hitter. I'm not talking complete baseball player because Trout might be the best I've ever seen.
Correct.
But this, I mean, Albert, no doubt, is in there. If Frank would have stayed healthy, he was a lot. I mean, his prime was a lot like Pujols' prime, where they're 330 hitters hitting 30 to 45 homers,
which is so impressive to me. That's so impressive. And by the way,
and never strike out.
It would probably go Pujols for me. It'd go Pujols, Bonds, probably Miggy, and then Gwynn. I loved watching Tony Gwynn hit. I know there's singles.
I need power.
I know.
I need some power.
I know there's singles, but when it came to just absolutely hitting a ball wherever he wanted,
That's true.
He could you almost felt like he was just taking the ball with his hand and running it out right over the shortstop and dropping it.
Why couldn't Tony Gwynn be in shape?
I don't know. He's the Bartolo Colon of the hitting.
But David Wells didn't need to run anywhere.
I know. Gwynn just had this, because Ray Kroc owned the team forever, and he was a McDonald's guy, I guess.
Next question.
Juan, Peter Gammon said Bryce Harper wants to play for the Cubs. He's heard that. Who will Harper play for in 2019?
Well, listen, I think the Cubs could make this happen. That is
scary. If you had to bet on somebody, if you had to put money on Bryce Harper playing for this team in 2019, who are you putting it on?
Nationals. I think he stays in Washington.
I was going to say Nationals, but I'll go Yankees.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I
think it's one of those three. I think it's Yankees, Nationals, or Cubs, and man, is that scary.
I think the Nationals pay the most money.
Yes.
I mean, they've paid huge money for... I mean, people don't think about them as a big market. Look at the money they've thrown out to Scherzer, Jason Worth, all those kind of guys. Why wouldn't they try and keep Bryce Harper?
Absolutely.
It's going to make probably $500 million.
Totally agree with that.
Next question.
All right, Jeremy, Al Pacino will play Joe Paterno in an HBO movie about Penn State scandal. Will you watch that?
Yeah, and feel bad about it.
I would too. I would watch.
I feel bad about watching, being entertained.
Yes.
By this.
I know.
Do you ever feel that about a movie?
Yeah, and sometimes though you just have. There's sometimes you just have to. You understand going in what it is.
HBO, this is probably a business decision. Makes sense.
But
it just feels. Happened.
I'm with you.
I guess it happened a long time.
John Gross.
I'll probably watch. Yeah.
I will too. John, thank you.
Next question.
Good stuff. All right. What do we got? Just one more segment?
I think Lindy Austin's going to join us now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Lindy's coming in. All right, we'll do that next. It is the Tay and J Show.
Check out the new BMW Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Eat, shop, play, and explore. Rediscover Campus Town. Every Thursday now through August 17th during 13 Thursdays. Summer's finally here and we're loving the specials in Campus Town. You can find great deals on clothing, accessories, and food each Thursday during 13 Thursdays at participating businesses. Save big this summer when you shop and eat your way through Campus Town. And enjoy 1 hour free parking at the campus parking deck located on 6th and Healy each and every Thursday.
Champagne Life.
Visit ChampagneCenter.com. 13 Thursdays is presented by the Champagne Center Partnership.
The Urbana Park District presents Neighborhood Nights all summer long through August 9th. Each Wednesday night, we'll be traveling to a different park in Urbana. This Wednesday, June 7th, join us at the Anita Purvis Nature Center in the Friendship Grove, and you'll listen to Kittens Incorporated and their breezy pop music from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Free popcorn and lemonade, fun activities. You can meet Urbana Park District officials. For details on this program and other Urbana Park District activities, go to urbanaparks.org.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
Your four-legged friends need protection too. Pet insurance from Pekin Insurance covers cats and dogs at least 6 weeks of age or older as an enhancement to your homeowner's coverage. Choose between $2,500 or $5,000 worth of coverage for a variety of pet health services. You can even take your pet to the veterinarian of your choice. Learn more at PekinInsurance.com or ask your local agent about how to protect your furry family members. For pet insurance that is beyond the expected, contact Pekin Insurance today.
This spring, Lowe's is helping you save big by offering great deals for all the projects on your to-do list. Add beautiful color to your landscape with select 12-pack annuals, now 2 for $16. And for soil to plant them in, get Miracle Grow Garden Soil, now 2 for just $12. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid May 31st through June 5th. While supplies last. U.S. only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
DP Dough is the original calzone company, and they cater all types and sizes of events, from office orders to private parties to entire visiting football teams. Everyone will be sure to enjoy something different than the same old sandwiches or pizza. DP Dough also delivers to nearly all of Champaign, Urbana, and Savoy until late at night. So give them a call or order online when you're hungry and no one else is delivering. With over 1 million calzones served since opening in 2006, DP Dough is sure to satisfy and fill you up. DP Dough, the original calzone company.
Mosquitoes can be a nuisance, and after a mild winter like we had, they're even worse. Let Prairie View Landscaping get rid of those pesky mosquitoes so you can enjoy the summer outdoors without bugs getting in the way. And since it's Prairie View Landscaping's 25th year in business, they're celebrating by offering up to 25% off their mosquito program. Email mypvdiscount@gmail.com for a free quote. mypvdiscount@gmail.com. And if you sign up by May 31st, you can win 2 free mosquito control applications out of 4. Prairie View Landscaping, mypvdiscount@gmail.com.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What'll he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
All right, it's the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lonte, Jeremy Warner, and we welcome in studio Lindy Lush and Prairie View Landscaping. And we are talking about the mosquito program giveaway.
Lindy Lush and killer of mosquitoes.
Yeah, right.
Good afternoon, guys.
You ever feel bad? You're just out there destroying creatures?
There's enough of them.
Right.
There's enough of them out there.
As Andrew had a practice yesterday and then a game, and I got destroyed.
Just say, I was at a ball game in Villa Grove the other day. I know you don't feel bad for mosquitoes.
No, I do not. Not with that Embrol right there.
So before we draw our winner of who gets this application, right?
2 free applications.
That's awesome. 3 applications of mosquito control from Prairie View Landscaping. Just tell people what you offer with this mosquito control.
We rolled this out about 3 or 4 years ago, and basically we come out and we treat the foliage and a little bit of the lawn and kind of set a barrier to keep mosquitoes out. Now, mosquitoes have wings and they can fly in, so it's not something that guarantees you're never going to see any. But I can tell you that it works very well. I did a trial period at my house, and the neighbors now want that no longer to be a trial period.
I bet.
They would like that to be constant. And so I think I've told the story a couple times of a couple going on a walk, getting a block down the street, and right back to their house. So, I mean, it's effective. It works very well. Typically, it lasts about a month. So it's a 4-step program where we treat it for the next 3 to 4 months to keep you where you can utilize your outdoor heaven.
Got it.
So,
it's not just mosquito control. You guys do everything.
No, we're full service. If it's outside, you don't want to do it, call me, and myself or another person will stop by and we'll take a look. And if it's something we can handle, we'll set you up with a proposal.
You can email mypvdiscount@gmail.com. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com. Well, we just drew a winner for your 2 free applications.
Yep, and the winner is Brad Harden from Monticello.
Okay.
So we will be in touch with Brad probably tomorrow morning to let him know that he was the winner.
Awesome.
And get that set up for him.
Well, Lindy, always fun to see you, buddy. We appreciate your coming in and always advertising with us here.
Got any Cardinals takes?
We don't play very good fundamental baseball.
Jose Akendo, where have you gone, right? Isn't that crazy?
That fundamental baseball.
Oh, man. Prairie View Landscaping. Get it done. Email them. It's mypvdiscount@gmail.com. Lindy, thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Good stuff. All right. That is Lindy Lushin. Next hour, we're going to give you, about 8 minutes.
No, I'll give you 9.
What?
Let's give you 9.
Yeah, I don't add very well, do I? Because I told you 14, and 9 and 5 is 14.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. We'll do 14. No,
that's
we'll
long
do 9.
division.
At some point, we'll be back talking. It is the Tay and J Show.
From soccer practice to home improvement projects, your days are busy. Busey understands. That's why we offer innovative solutions to keep your financial life in order. With Busey's mobile app, deposit checks, transfer funds, and pay bills, whether you're in the boardroom or at the ballpark. Visit Busey.com or stop by one of our many convenient locations for solutions to your banking and wealth management needs. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This spring, Lowe's is helping you save big by offering great deals for all the projects on your to-do list. Add beautiful color to your landscape with select 12-pack annuals, now 2 for $16. And for soil to plant them in, get Miracle Grow Garden Soil, now 2 for just $12. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid May 31st through June 5th. While supplies last. U.S. only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, this is Brad again with Kramer Siding and Window Company, and for over 60 years, we've been providing worry-free home improvements. If you've thought about either siding, windows, maybe you need to replace that roof, how about a deck, a pergola, awnings? We also have the four-season sunrooms and screen rooms, or the gutter helmet. If any of those home improvements are in your near future, call us right now at Kramer Siding or stop by our beautiful showroom at 708 North Country Fair Drive.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
A president won't stand in his way. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News. The White House insisting President Trump, too, wants all the facts to come out and will not invoke executive privilege to keep fired FBI Director Jim Comey from testifying before the Senate Intelligence Committee. Though Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders says he'd be within his rights to do so.
The president's power to exert executive privilege is very well established.
Comey set to testify Thursday. Criminal charges filed in a deadly warehouse fire that claimed 36 lives in Oakland, California last December. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has the details live.
Jane, the Alameda County DA, Nancy O'Malley, filed involuntary manslaughter charges against Derek Almena and Max Harris. The two were the main tenants of the warehouse. She said they held unpermitted parties, filled the warehouse with clutter, and created a fire trap and a high risk of death.
Their actions were so different from the way an ordinary person would conduct himself or herself in the same situation that their actions amount to disregard for human life.
O'Malley said the two deceived city officials and the warehouse owners about the fact that people had been living there, Jane.
Thanks, Jessica. Will police need a judge's permission to see certain cell phone records? The nation's highest court will answer that question. Fox's Jared Halpern live from Washington.
The latest digital age case to reach the Supreme Court will test the limits of police to review cell phone tower records used to help track suspects' locations. The challenge coming from a man convicted of armed robberies in Michigan and Ohio. Police obtained records from cell service providers that placed his cell phone in the vicinity of the crimes. Police obtained the records without a judge's warrant, and a federal appeals court ruled police aren't required to have one. The Supreme Court will now consider if a warrant is needed for that type of record. Arguments expected late this year or early next year, Jane.
Thanks, Jared. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Looks like some cable and phone companies are trying to sell home security. But when a burglar sees one of their signs in the front yard, what does it say? Oh, wow, this home has 599 channels. Or, oh, these guys have high-speed internet. But the ADT sign, it says, this family trusts the company whose name means security. So beat it. It's no wonder 5 times more people choose ADT to protect their homes.
Learn more at ADT.com and to see licensing and terms and conditions.
When you're hiring for a growing business, you don't need lots of candidates. You need the right candidates. You need Indeed.com. With an algorithm that positions your job post where quality candidates are and screener questions that help you zero in on the best talent. Indeed.com, the site proven through an independent study to deliver 5 times more hires than any other. New users claim your $50 credit for a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Terrorism. A man fired back in April from his job at an Orlando, Florida awning factory, killed 5 people and then himself. A woman whose life he spared ran out of that factory, dialing 911. The last 10 of the people arrested Sunday in connection with the London Bridge terror attack released today without charge. 2 others released earlier. This as authorities continue to work with families and the city's coroner to identify the 7 people killed in that attack. This was the 3rd terror attack in the UK in as many months.
Counterterrorism analysts are drawing our attention to some images over the weekend of the suspects with canisters strapped to their bodies that look like suicide vests, saying this tactic is designed to intimidate victims and to also guarantee martyrdom because security forces are trained to kill, not negotiate with suicide bombers. U.S. government official told Fox over the weekend that they had viewed some of the classified intelligence heading into Saturday's attack and described what they saw in Britain as well as Europe as some of the most severe threats that they'd seen in the last decade.
Fox's Catherine Herridge. Bill Cosby got some support from a young woman who once was his youngest co-star on this, the first day of his sexual assault trial outside Philadelphia.
Keisha Knight-Pulliam gained fame on The Cosby Show as Rudy Huxtable. All grown up, she walked hand in hand into court with her TV dad, saying being there in good times is great, but
true family, friendship, integrity is how do people show up and support when things aren't looking so great, when they aren't shiny.
Knight-Pulliam says she doesn't condone sexual assault, but court is all about presumed innocence, and until proven otherwise,
it's about standing by your truth. And for me, my truth was to be here and to be supportive.
Given the allegation, it's an unpopular stand, but one she says she's committed to.
That's Gernal Scott. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News Radio.
Get out of there earlier, Gernal, so Jane can get out. Nice.
Jane was in a little bit of a panic.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to fix that AC of yours. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, clear, low of 53. Tuesday, cools off. Sunny, clear, high 78, low of 54. Wednesday, sunny, 75 your high, 53 your low. Right now, sunny, clear, 87 in Champaign-Urbana.
Get it. And it's the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5, Cardinals, Reds at Cincinnati. I think the first 3 days of this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're off early for the Cardinal baseball. Let's hope they can go to Cincinnati and get things figured out after getting swept at Wrigley Field. Ian Happ had his coming out party yesterday. I saw an article, and I don't even know if you would have been alive, honestly.
Yeah.
It was 1984.
I was not alive.
Okay. Ryan Sandberg.
Well, I was 14 years old.
I was 14 years old. Yeah, that's true. You would not have been alive. I can tell you what I was doing that day. I was over at the Prophets.
Okay, Carp.
I know. This is weird. I was over at the Prophets' house, and we were playing basketball, and Ryan Sandberg hit 2 home runs off Bruce Sutter and at Wrigley Field, and that was kind of the coming out party for Ryan Sandberg. Well, somebody wrote an article this morning. Now, they weren't saying... I think it was our boy Ted, or who's, doesn't matter. But they were saying, all right, look, I'm not comparing Ian Happ to Ryan Sandberg, but he said after a game like that, that is one of those you look back on and you'll remember forever. And for sure, Ian will.
Who would you rather keep, Ian Happ or Kyle Schwarber?
Oh, man. Isn't that crazy that I'm pausing?
I think it's legit, though.
And it's funny. They're and I will give a percentage of Cub fans credit for this. There have been a few that have wanted to trade Schwarber all along.
Yes.
And I've always discounted that and said, you're crazy.
Big negative defensively.
Right.
And he has to be great offensively to
make
be
up
a
for
very
that.
productive player.
That's a good point.
Ian Happ's versatile.
Yes.
He plays okay defense.
Yep.
At least okay defense.
Well, and I'm keeping him because he's the second baseman.
And it feels like he's just a more professional hitter.
Yes.
Right? While Schwarber is a potentially elite slugger.
He can do what he did Saturday, where it hit bombs.
So if a team came to you and said, you give me Schwarber or Happ for this ace pitcher, or like number 2 pitcher.
You know, the other thing, okay, and
who would you rather give?
Well, and I'm going to bring this up because I think it's important. Schwarber has had the major injury. He had the major injury.
Had a major injury. Has had unbelievable postseason success.
That's true, which says something.
Great half a year when he came up. Now he's struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So
Bad,
you could
like
be,
under 200.
You would be probably selling low on him.
Right.
While you could be selling high on Hap.
I'd probably keep Hap. Isn't that amazing?
I mean, but Theo and Jed love Schwarber.
Well, and I know you get Sports Illustrated. You read the article about the scout that discovered him, and essentially Theo always said, look, everybody thinks we were going to trade Schwarber. He's like, never did I want to trade Schwarber. And he was so impactful in that World Series run. That's an interesting question.
I don't think they're going to
though.
trade any of those top guys, prospects.
I don't either.
I think if they trade somebody, it's going to be Javi Baez from the Major League roster.
Yep.
Or it's going to be Candelario.
I would agree with
Cease.
that.
I don't think they'll trade Eloy because I don't think they want to, and I don't think they're going to go for that premier of a pitcher.
Agree.
In a trade.
Agree. Yeah, you said that, and I agree with
I think
you.
a Sonny Gray or somebody like that might be as high as you get.
I think that'd be huge. All right, Cubs-Cardinals talk.
Or be a rental. If Johnny Cueto ends up being a rental.
Man, Cueto makes sense to me. I have a feeling that's going to happen. All right, Thad Matta out after 13 seasons at Ohio State, and as you said, don't beat around the bush here. He was basically fired from Ohio State. Gene Smith, the AD, basically said they had a great talk and realized that Thad Matta had fallen behind in recruiting.
Yeah, it came down to that because I thought Thad could get fired after the season.
Yes.
And I thought it would have been justifiable, even though it's just really 2 subpar seasons for Thad Matta, who's had an unbelievable career.
Crazy.
At Ohio State, where they were the elite program for, a 6-7 year stretch?
Yes.
Was it 2 Final Fours?
2 Final Fours.
5 regular season championships.
4 Big Ten tournament championships.
And some unbelievable talent went through there as well. So had to be a tough conversation. I think Gene Smith wanted to keep him, but through the summer they were missing on a lot of big targets.
Okay.
Mark Smith being one of them.
Right.
But they kept missing in recruiting. The current roster with Jaquan Lyle leaving, which might be actually a positive for them.
No doubt.
Even though he's a productive player.
No
He's
doubt.
unproductive at other times and really was a drag on the team other times. But that was really tough for them to probably do. But you could see that if it wasn't going to happen now, it was going to happen next year.
Yes.
So make the move now.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's late. But Ohio State is such a big-time program, such a big-time brand. They're going to get somebody good. And I think the really most interesting candidate for me is Chris Mack at Xavier.
Okay.
I think he would make the most sense when it comes to really familiar with Ohio and that area, recruiting that area. But he's got a great team coming back to Xavier. He's got a chance to maybe make a Final Four next year. It's probably his best team.
Can you imagine?
He's an Xavier grad.
Can you imagine what's going through his head right now if he is truly a candidate?
I mean, Ohio State, that kind of job doesn't come open that often.
And I guarantee you Gene Smith's already reached out to him. If he's a candidate, he's already sitting there right now at what would that be, 6:11 Eastern time, sitting there thinking, do I really want to do this, man? Because I've got a team coming back that could be unbelievable. I like Chris Holtman from Butler. I think he's a kid that I really like the way he coaches. And again, I know Mata did that little Butler Xavier Ohio State trick. Maybe that's in my mind, but I think one of those two would be excellent candidates.
Mick Cronin.
Yeah, Mick Cronin
would
be good.
Cincinnati a really long time. There's kind of a
that's the thing.
I know that Bob Huggins did really well there, and Cincinnati went 30-6 last year.
Yes,
feels like a ceiling. To that program.
Cronin he's a fiery guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, he'd be an interesting coach in the Big Ten. That would be one that I'd find interesting.
Ohio State fans, I don't think you are getting Brad Stevens. I don't think you're getting Sean Miller.
Billy Donovan.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting Billy Donovan. Those NBA jobs, especially ones that are good, like really good jobs, you're not going to leave.
Unless Donovan's looking at Golden State right now going, you know what, I'm getting the heck away
I think
from
he's
this.
fine, though, making $6 million and coaching Russ Westbrook for the next 5-7 years.
I think I'd be fine with that, too. Wouldn't you?
Don't have to recruit. Don't have to grovel the people.
Unbelievable.
18-years.
Illinois basketball had a kid on campus this weekend. Tell us a little bit about George Condit, not George Conduit.
That's what you call him earlier. George Condit, really intriguing prospect out of the Chicago Public League, Chicago Corliss. Not a program you hear often about. Kind of a wing player growing up, but he's grown about 3 to 4 inches in the last couple months, and he's really skinny. So it looks like his body's catching up to him. But one person compared him, at least at the same age, to a DJ Wilson.
Wow.
6'10",
from Michigan.
Wingspan of 7'3", good dribbler, good passer, can shoot it a little bit, but obviously has a high ceiling as a shot blocker. Might not make an impact right away, but he seems like a really good developmental prospect, I should say. I think he can make an impact in his first couple years, but really when he's sophomore, junior,
really
I think he
help
could
out.
be really, really good in this system. And Illinois, the first-time major to offer, and I think that's a good thing.
It'll be interesting
get
to
in there
see
early.
how kind of Brad Underwood starts to recruit, what kind of kids he's wanting to go after, and it seems like that is the kind of kid he likes.
Versatile.
Get up and down the court,
yeah,
without a doubt. Hey, I want to give a shout-out to some guy that actually texted and said the volume on the TV has to be on an even number, because we talked about that earlier. Yes, same deal. Same deal. It can't be 39. It's got to be 40.
That's a high volume.
Yeah, my TV's not very loud.
Okay.
Yeah,
I do have one TV where it's like 50,
Yeah.
like midway up,
Right.
and it's not that high. Then my other TV is like 10's really high.
And yeah, that's real. I don't know. I think it's wearing these headphones every day. I'm sure my hearing is going.
Thanks to our guests today, Scott Burgess, Prep Hoops, Mike Claiborne, KMOX Podcast, ESPNCU.com. Thanks to Harry,
Awesome.
Maddie, David, Nathan, and Jacob.
Well done. Cardinal baseball's next. I'm suing Stevie J for my hearing loss. It's the Tay and J Show.
There's a time for work, there's a time for play. There's a time to do things you don't do every day. There's a place to go for tools and machines and people with knowledge about these things. We've been here since 53 to meet your rental needs. When the time comes, we're the place for everything. Rental City.
When your car breaks down, you realize just how much you need it. And when it breaks down, Beaumont Alignment Plus steps up. For routine maintenance like brakes, oil changes, tune-ups, batteries, and tires, you can count on Beaumont Alignment Plus. Bigger issues including alignment, suspension work, starters, alternators, transmission requires specialists. So get to know Beaumont Alignment Plus for your vehicle repairs. With locations on Bloomington Road and Denison Drive in Champaign, you're never far from the help you need. It's good to know that quality service is still affordable at Beaumont Alignment Plus.
Welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Chris Raby with you on the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network as we get ready for the first of a 4-game series in Cincinnati. The Cardinals and the Reds. Reds-Birds coming off a tough weekend in Chicago, getting swept at Wrigley Field by the Cubs. They are 26-28, 2.5 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers in the division and a game and a half behind the Cubs. Tonight, Carlos Martinez tries to be the stopper as he takes to the mound. The right-hander, 4-4 with the 3.08 ERA, has been tremendous over his last few starts. A really, really great month of May for Carlos. He takes on Asher Wojciechowski. Coming up on the Amarin pregame show, we'll visit with Greg Amzinger of MLB Network for our Reporter's Notebook. Take a look back at the weekend and what could be in store for the Cardinals and their lineup moving forward. Mike Claiborne visits with Cardinals hitting coach John Mabry. We'll hear from Mike Matheny with John Rooney, get the first word from the booth, and take a look at some Cardinals in the minor leagues who received accolades earlier today. All of that and more before first pitch from the Great American Ballpark, the Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. Just how good has Carlos Martinez been recently? Let's head to our Central Bank of St. Louis replay.
The 2-2 pitch. Utley bounces it toward the second baseman. DeYoung has it underhands to first. And that is 7 in a row set down by Carlos Martinez.
We always talk about ace when we talk about Adam Wainwright, but we know that ace stuff is what Carlos has, and our opening day guy, the guy who comes in and can put a stop to a tough run, and we needed a special performance, and he answered.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch, swing and a miss. Grandal strikes out. Martinez struck out Seager and Grandal give Carlos 9.
How about the month of May for Martinez? 4-1 with a 2.03 earned run average has been sensational over his last 3 starts. The 9 shutout innings and a 3-1 extra inning loss to San Francisco, 7 in the third in Colorado, and then the 8 innings of 1-run ball in that 2-1 win you just heard over the Los Angeles Dodgers. 24 in a third innings, giving up just 4 earned runs for Carlos over his last 3, and what a month it was. He'll try to start June off on a great foot as he takes on Asher Wojciechowski tonight. A replay brought to you by Central Bank of St. Louis, your hometown bank of the St. Louis Cardinals. Follow Cardinals baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected to the game's best players all season long with Game Day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's your number one app for live baseball. Some accolades for some Cardinals farmhands. We'll tell you about those next as we get ready for baseball tonight. Cardinals looking to snap the 3-game losing streak and get off to a great start in Cincy. It's 4 against the Reds before coming home. Back in a moment. Chris Ramby with you from Cardinals Nation Restaurant inside of Ballpark Village on the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Mike Carpenter from the Tay and J Show on ESPN 93.5, and for over 20 years, Simplified Computers has been helping local businesses and nonprofits with their computing and networking needs. Simplified Computers covers everything from servers, network security, cloud-based applications, wireless accessibility, computer support. In short, whatever technical issues your business runs into, the guys at Simplified Computers have seen it, and they can help. Call them at 352-5000. That's 352-5000. Simplified Computers. Simply the best.
Hanson's Auto Repair in Urbana is a family-owned and operated full-service garage. For over 40 years, they've offered friendly atmosphere, quality work, and reasonable prices. Whether it's an oil change, brake service, or engine replacement, Hanson's Auto does it all. They're a locally owned dealer who cares, providing fast, comprehensive, and expert service. Family-owned, operated, and trusted since 1966. Hanson's Auto Repair, 1202 East Washington in Urbana. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Visit them online at hansonsautorepair.com.
Hey, it's Stevie J. Have the roof your home deserves. For your next roofing project, why don't you go with Roof Doctors, a locally owned and family-operated business for over 25 years. They use superior materials. They're a certified shingle contractor, so they can offer a 50-year non-prorated full system warranty, and they won't loan your work out to subcontractors. Hey, Roof Doctors has worked on my home, and the results are fantastic. But don't just take it from me. With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau, Roof Doctors has plenty of satisfied customers. Get a free quote at roofdoctorsco.com.
Power up with Tempur-Pedic at Illini Mattress. Now through June 11th, get your best night's sleep and save up to $600 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets. Plus, interest-free financing for up to 60 months with approved credit. You heard right. That's 5 years with no interest at Illini Mattress. We also provide free delivery, setup, and removal, and a $300 gift with the purchase of your life-changing Tempur-Pedic sleep system. Offer ends June 11th, so hurry in. This sleep is power. Tempur-Pedic at Illini Mattress.
We got a jam-packed Monsanto Farm Report tonight as we get ready for the Cardinals and the Reds. Some accolades for some Redbird farmhands. Luke Weaver named the PCL Minor League Player of the Month after the right-hander started 6 games, posting a 5-1 record and a 2.19 earned run average. Weaver giving up just 9 earned runs over 37 innings while walking 6 and striking out 37. Meanwhile, Carson Kelly named the Cardinals Minor League Player of the Month, and Steve Pearce, the minor league pitcher of the month. Kelly, 22-year-old Cardinals catcher in Triple-A Memphis, hit a eye-popping .381 with 7 doubles, 3 home runs, and 15 RBI over 22 games in May. Kelly hit safely in 18 of 22 May games with 10 multi-hit games. His .399 on base percentage is 8th among PCL players. Meanwhile, the 23-year-old Pierce, the 13th round pick in 2014 out of Polk State College in Florida, who's at Springfield AA, was a perfect 5-0 with a .69 earned run average over 5 starts and 39 innings pitched. Pierce finished the month with 2 complete games against Northwest Arkansas and a 4-hit shutout at San Antonio. Congratulations to Carson Kelly and Steve Pearce. Randall Grichuk is in Palm Beach as the Cardinals left fielder gets some work at extended spring and also high A. Grichuk is in left field and hitting third tonight for the Palm Beach Cardinals. Last night he DH'd, was 1 for 3 with a triple, a run driven in, and a run scored. That's your Farm Report. It's brought to you by Monsanto, proud supporter of America's farmers. We will get the perspective of Greg Amsinger from MLB Network next. Talk about the Cardinals weekend in Chicago and what they may look to add to inject some life into their lineup. That's next on the Ameren pregame show on the Cardinals Radio Network.
You're at the ballpark every day, crouching down, catching heat, all but invisible. Your job lacks fame and glory, but offers plenty of distracting aches and pains. That's the life of a bullpen catcher. You can't afford to lose focus. Neither can your team. So be prepared with ACE braces, supports, and elastic bandages. and don't be distracted by pain. Ace brand products available at Schnucks.
Feed, food, ethanol, exports. With these uses combined, he's Captain Cornelius. Harnessing the power of sun, land, and water, he's joined by your friendly neighborhood farm families to fight pests and weeds, fuel our nation, and travel the globe to strike out hunger. Join the captain alongside amazing super friends as they race to the plate at Friday night home games.
Brought to you by Missouri Corn Growers and Missouri Farmers Care. Check them out on Facebook and Twitter.
328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. We have pull and we're hooked on you. Tapman's Towing.
Hello, this is Shane Colt from Country Arbors Nursery. Spring is finally here and Country Arbors is open and ready to supply you with all your home and garden needs. We grow hundreds of thousands of annuals and 600 varieties of perennials right here in Urbana. If you're looking for a large shade tree, then you'll want to come out and see our thousands of trees dug and ready to be planted. Country Arbors offers a planting service on all our trees. Buy 3 or more trees and we'll give you 20% discount on the tree and the planting. We guarantee all of our larger trees that we plant for 5 years. And don't forget, we deliver dozens of different mulches and stone. You can find out more information and directions at countryarbors.com.
Check out the new BMW Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Fly Champaign. You can fly Willard Airport. You can fly Champaign. You can fly. Our airport is your doorway to the sky. So pack your things, spread your wings. You've got business to do. People who expect you. You can fly Champaign. You can fly Willard Airport.
The insurers.
Well, tough weekend for the Cardinals at Wrigley Field as they get swept by the Cubs. Chris Raby back with you. We get ready for the Redbirds and Reds from Cincinnati. Carlos Martinez on the mound against Asher Ojakowski. Cardinals now find themselves 2.5 games behind the Brewers in the division at 26-28, and they've scored the fewest runs in the National League Central. In fact, the Cardinals' 223 runs are fourth worst or fourth fewest scored in the National League, behind only the Padres, who have scored 200 runs, the Giants, who have 203, and 219 scored by the Philadelphia Phillies. What are our takeaways from the weekend at Wrigley, and what could the Cardinals look to do with their lineup? Greg Amsinger of MLB Network joins us for the Reporter's Notebook. You can catch Greg every night on MLB Network's MLB Tonight, which airs live 7 days a week, and Greg will host the Major League Baseball Draft exclusively on MLB Network on Monday, a week from tonight, beginning at 5 o'clock Central.
Well, at some point, we all knew that the Cubs were going to wake up. And maybe it took a series against the St. Louis Cardinals to make that happen. The games were close, but they figured out a way to win. The issue that the Cardinals have right now, and this has been the issue all year, and it just stood out when you looked at the way this roster was constructed, they needed a guy like Randall Grichuk or a Stephen Piscotty to go, okay, we knew there's a lot of talent, but the Cardinals might have one of the better players in the National League. Like, that's what needed to happen, right? It never happened. And Piscotty's going to be a good player for the Cardinals. I look at Stephen Piscotty, and every time I see him play, I always think of Alan Craig. Where did Alan Craig go? Like, oh my goodness, how he fell off the map. But Stephen Piscotty could be a guy that's a 20-homer guy, 80 to 100 RBIs. Quietly, no one knows about him. But a productive player. I don't think Matt Carpenter is a 220 hitter, which he is at the moment. So he's eventually going to come back. The Cardinals are missing their Yoenis Cespedes, What Yoenis Cespedes meant to the New York Mets changed the club overnight, made them a World Series contender immediately because he's on the team. The presence of a guy like that changed everyone in the lineup. So without him, it's a different club. They just don't have that kind of fear factor. The Cardinals, and I find it apropos that it's blatantly obvious that this lineup isn't good enough. I mean, 26th in runs scored right now in baseball. In the same week, the Cardinals are struggling offensively so mightily. You see Albert Pujols reach a 600 home run milestone. You see Matt Holliday make his case to be an all-star as arguably the best DH going right now that David Ortiz has retired. So you see these signature Cardinals having these big weeks. At the same time, this lineup is missing that feared slugger in the middle of the order. This team is primed to make a move come trade deadline. It's going to happen, and this will be that first monster decision that John Mozeliak's going to have to make, because the team's going to be within striking distance of a second NL wild card. This is a team that's built to win right now, because for St. Louis, the market size, they're spending money to keep an old catcher in Yadi Molina, to keep a Carlos Martinez to be the ace of that staff, to overpay maybe for a guy like Mike Leake. Like, they're spending big money. So they have to win now. This will be a major decision for John Mozeliak of who does he bring in to change this lineup overnight, and that's going to be a daunting task.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And similar to Cespedes' comparison, as you alluded to, the Mets were only 3 games above 500 on July 31st when they made that deal. The Cardinals kind of floundering right around 500 right now. Then Cespedes hits 17 home runs for the Mets, and they finish at the top of the division, 90 and 72. So you mentioned Cespedes. Who is that guy? Is it a corner infielder? Is it a corner outfielder? Do you absolutely unload the bank of prospects now that they've developed some depth within the organization? What kind of player is that, Greg? I know that's kind of a daunting question as we sit here at the beginning of June and so many teams still in the mix.
Well, it depends on what they want to do. If they want to stay away from the rental, then you're not going to consider any of the Hosmers or the Moustakas. And I think that John Mozeliak learned his lesson there and said, you know what? We're not going to give a bunch of talent away for maybe we get a second wild card. What does that get you? 1 game? Okay, so I don't think they're going to go in that direction. I could see the closest comparison to Yoenis Cespedes, a guy that I have been a huge fan of, and for some reason this club has had an up-and-down relationship with this young player, but there's 2 years of control left for Marcell Ozuna in Miami. He is having a monster season. The Marlins are a club that may consider, especially with new ownership on the horizon, of trying to accumulate some young talent, because they're not going to win right now. And if you've got a guy like Giancarlo Stanton on the books and you're not going to move him, he's a $300 million player, no one's going to take on that contract. You want to make sure this team's ready to win. Maybe not next year, but the year after that. And they've got some young pieces that would help them in that direction. With Christian Yelich, they got a club-friendly contract. I think they're holding on to him. And I don't think Yelich is the guy the Cardinals need, even though I think he's a good player. Marcell Ozuna is the bad ball hitting, you don't know what you're going to get, could be 0 for 4 strikeouts, could hit 2 bombs. He is the guy that when the Cardinals get off the bus, and this is my analogy, right now if the Cardinals get off the bus, no one's intimidated before that high school football game. They're like, oh, we're going to beat this team. We got these guys.
That's Greg Amsinger from MLB Network with our Reporter's Notebook. When we come back to Cincinnati, we go to hear from the skipper.
We got to continue to put the throttle down offensively to give us more room and continue to work smart on the things that we need to make us better and make less mistakes in the field.
Mike Matheny next on snapping the skid after getting swept at Wrigley. That's after this. Chris Raby with you. It's the Amarin pregame show getting ready for the Cardinals and the Reds. Back in a moment on the Cardinals Radio Network.
We, the entertainment-loving people, demand the best unlimited wireless plan ever from AT&T.
I thought I raised you better than to make demands like that.
You know what? We want even more than that. We want AT&T to give us unlimited entertainment.
What else do you want, a flying car?
Well, maybe HBO included in our plan.
How about a unicorn?
And we want to watch all our favorite shows without paying overages.
Good luck with that.
And we want all of this, plus we want to save $25 on our monthly DirecTV bill.
But you can save me $25?
Well, yeah.
I'm proud of you, son.
Only AT&T offers you unlimited data with HBO included and never pay overages. Visit your local AT&T store and get AT&T Unlimited Plus, our best wireless deal on unlimited data. Plus, save $25 per month on DirecTV. It's entertainment your way.
After 22 gigabytes of data usage, AT&T may slow speeds. Plan includes stream saver and videos will stream in standard definition unless you turn it off. $25 DirecTV savings requires AT&T Unlimited Plus. Credits start within 3 bills. Service prices subject to change. Other usage, speed, fees, charges, and restrictions apply. See att.com/unlimited for details.
Oh, hey, hi, hello there. It's me, your air conditioner. You can call me AC if you want, but Mr. Conditioner is my dad's name. Okay, listen, you may have noticed that I'm using a lot of energy right now, and that's why you need to call an expert. Yep, the experts can give me a precision tune-up, so you'll save up to 30% on energy bills, and I won't have to work so hard, which is great because I'm about to pass out.
At Chief Power Service Experts, save $41 off an AC precision tune-up. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefpower.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
If you really want to enjoy life's celebrations, you need to call Rosati's Pizza for their comfortable catering package for 10 for just $92.35. Rosati's will serve you, along with your friends, families, and coworkers, a delicious lunch or dinner for under $100. Feed them all with Italian beef, pasta salad, and garlic bread. It's all about good food at Rosati's. Having a party, picnic, hosting a celebration? Call Rosati's for their comfortable catering package for 10. Rosati's Pizza, 701 South Gregory in Urbana, or call 328-2334.
At Body & Soul, they take pride in giving you the perfect fit for your athletic shoes. Their team of experts will help you in selecting the style that fits your purpose and your feet. Body & Soul has offered the best prices and best quality for more than 30 years. And they aren't just shoes. Whether it's walking, running, swimming, or biking, or whether it's for you or the whole team, visit Mike or Jed and their experienced staff at Body & Soul, Route 45 Savoy. Call 356-8926 or visit soulsports.com.
Hi, I'm Dan Moyson, owner of Simplified Computers in Champaign. For over 20 years, Simplified Computers has been helping local businesses and nonprofits with their computing and networking needs. We cover everything from servers, network security, cloud-based applications, wireless accessibility, computer support. In short, whatever technical issues your business runs into, we've seen it and we can help. Call us at 352-5000. That's 352-5000. Simplified Computers. Simply the best.
Weekends Only's mission is to save you money. Come in this weekend for the biggest selection at the best prices on furniture and mattresses, open Friday through Sunday and online at weekendsonly.com. Weekends Only is a proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's head to Cincinnati as we get ready for baseball. Carlos Martinez on the mound tonight with the Redbirds as they look to snap the 3-game losing streak following the sweep at Wrigley over the weekend. The manager's chat, John Rooney with Mike Matheny, is always brought to you by Webster University.
Mike, last night in Chicago, all of a sudden, Michael Wacha just lost it in the fourth inning. And you've worked with a lot of pitchers trying to slow the rotation of the earth down. Mike, what's the best way to go about that?
Yeah, sometimes it's just hoping the defense makes plays for you. I mean, Michael was missing his spots by a long ways when he was so dialed in. It was really baffling. He looked so good early. He was in the bottom of the zone. He was up effectively. Off-speed pitches looked good, and then all of a sudden it just started to scatter. And so something we're paying real close attention to understand the why. The velocity was there. It looked like the arm strength was good. It just something threw him off. And unfortunately, with us not making plays behind him either, it turned into a situation with a lot of runs that we weren't able to completely recover from.
With the offense struggling to score runs, everything seems to be amplified, but last night you got 6 runs.
Yeah, and uncharacteristically gave up the runs too. And, it's one of those, it's amazing, John. You look over the last 2 weeks plus, and every single one of those games we were right there, or we even were in the driver's seat and had a chance to hold on to a lead. And our pitching's been good. It's either non-plays or not getting those runs in big situations. We did that yesterday. We had guys on third base. Paul DeYoung gets the run in. We have the big homer from Piscotty to give us some room. I mean, it just seems like it's one thing or another right now, and just try to keep talking to the guys about, listen, we've seen a lot of the little things that get in the way of us finishing off and getting the win that we need. But we're also seeing a lot of little things that we're doing right. And it starts with our starting pitching and starting to try to develop those roles down the bullpen a little bit more. But we got to continue to put the throttle down offensively to give us more room and continue to work smart on the things that we need to make us better and make less mistakes in the field.
You mentioned the bullpen with Matt Bowman. How do you keep a young player's confidence going? He's pitched well for you.
He has. Yeah, I think it really goes back. It started in Colorado, and he has 2 outings in Colorado. In Colorado, it's just different. That's all there is to it. And the only thing that bothered me is he came back, and the first time we threw him after we came back home, he looked a little tentative, like he had a little bit of self-doubt. And that's just one of those things that a young player has to learn, that you can't take something that happens anytime, let alone a place like Colorado, where it's a tough place to throw. And I saw him take some positive steps forward. Did a nice job yesterday too, and then John Jay just put together a good at bat at the right time and gave them enough. But he's been a real good piece for our puzzle here, being able to come in the middle of an inning and get us out and get the ground ball and induce the double play, and also be able to come in against lefties at any point and pitch late in the game. So it's just a matter of reinforcing that. But he's going to need to see the positive results himself.
Well, for the naysayers, the sky is falling and the world's coming to an end, Mike, but I see it. If you get a couple of these guys going in your offense, and Cecil continues to improve in the bullpen, he's putting some good outings together. Rosenthal really looks good, and a chance to get to Sohn 1-0. Within a week to 10 days, you could be back on top in this division. That's just how this division's playing out.
Yeah, I think someone said the sky fell earlier this year too, but I never saw it. Play the game. That's all there is to it, and that's part of my conversation with the guys. Is listen, we're right in the middle of this thing, and we haven't played good baseball, and good baseball is ahead of us. Where we see that offense. It's amazing. You look up there, and the guys that we know are going to produce offensively, and the tough time that they've had so far, and we're still able to throw some wins up occasionally, and we're improving defensively in the infield. We got some work to do now in the outfield. Got some things that we got to get figured out in our pen, but we have the pieces there. It's just a matter of putting it all together. And what you're talking about, John's noise. It's noise, and the way that we're evaluated, it really comes down to what we see and how we demand excellence from ourselves and the way we go about our business. And the rest of the stuff is things that just get in the way.
Mike, good luck tonight with Carlos going. We'll talk tomorrow.
Thanks, John.
Manager Champ brought to you by Webster University. Mike Matheny's lineup tonight. Dexter Fowler leads off in center field. Matt Carpenter hits second at first base. Stephen Piscotty is in right field hitting third. Jed Jerko's at third. He's the cleanup man. Yadier Molina does the catching. Tommy Pham hits sixth in left field. Paul DeYoung hits seventh at second base. And Ledmus Diaz, the shortstop, is eighth in front of the pitcher, Carlos Martinez. When we come back, get the perspective of John Rooney and Rick Horton. That's next on the Cardinals Radio Network.
Someone, please explain southpaw.
Left-handed pitcher.
But why southpaw?
Ben, it's baseball slang. Don't ask. Just enjoy.
Nicole, why southpaw?
It's because most stadiums are built with the outfield in the east. It keeps the sun out of the batter's eyes. Duh. Right.
The minute southpaw made sense. Marriott St. Louis Grand. Best place to take in the boys of summer. Book this minute at MarriottStLouisGrand.com to get great deals on tickets and be steps away from Busch Stadium. Let's play ball.
This is what it sounds like when real people attempt to read through all the awards that Chevrolet has won over the last 3 years as quickly as they can.
2017 Motor Trend Car of the Year.
I'm feeling the heat. 2017 Car and Driver 10 Best. 2017 North American Car of the Year.
That's a lot of awards.
If I was a Chevy guy before, I'm even more of a Chevy guy now.
Chevrolet, the most awarded car company 3 years in a row. So get behind the wheel and see for yourself why Chevrolet keeps bringing home award after award.
Chevrolet, the #1 selling vehicle in the St. Louis area.
Most awarded claim based on recognized industry awards for 2014 through 2016 year-end totals.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
Vapors e-cigs thinks it's time for you to take a permanent vacation from smoking. Take a permanent vacation away from cigarettes today. You'll smell better, you'll breathe better, and you'll feel better. Plus, you'll have more money than ever when you choose Vapors e-cigs. Come in today and taste the difference with a premium electronic vape. You can get started for less than a carton of cigarettes. So what are you waiting for? Stop by Vapors e-cigs today. Find them at Champaign across the street from Marketplace Mall at 2 West Main Street in Danville. And follow them on Facebook for great deal offers and giveaways.
Bunny's Tavern is your home for the 2017 Chicago Cubs. Nothing beats watching baseball over an ice-cold beer, so enjoy $13.50 mix-and-match domestic buckets and $6 PBR pitchers 7 days a week. You'll catch every minute of Cubs action on Bunny's 10 big-screen TVs, whether you're inside or enjoying the largest heated patio in Urbana. So come check out what people in Champaign-Urbana have been whispering about for over 75 years. Bunny's Tavern in downtown Urbana, your home for the 2017 Chicago Cubs.
Got a question? Talk to our experts at StevieJay.com. Experts are ready to answer your questions for free. Looking for cool trends in clothing or gear as you support area teams? Game Day Spirit is the official fan store of the Fighting Illini. Landscaping tips are also available from Country Arbor's Nursery. New tile or soft surfaces in your home or business? Flooring Surfaces, where the world is at your feet. Experts are available now online at StevieJay.com.
Well, tonight we're in Cincinnati. Good thing we're out of Wrigley Field.
Very tough series against the Cubs, and the Cardinals just couldn't figure out a way to hold leads, John, in any of those games. They had some moments, but the Cubs just played much better at home, and they had been playing better at home. Even though they had lost 6 straight games, they took it to the Cardinals, and the good thing about baseball is you get to start over again here in Cincinnati.
And playing the Reds, a team that is below the Cardinals in the standings. The Reds and the Pirates are below the Redbirds, but that whole division is up for grabs.
Well, everybody's very close in the division, and when you look at the Cincinnati Reds, the first thing you look at is their lineup, and their lineup is very, very good. Talking to some of the Reds folks here today, they believe it's the best offense they've had in the last 10 years in Cincinnati. They've got speed. They have Hamilton in center field, Billy Hamilton, who leads the league in stolen bases. Schebler, who's not playing here in Game 1 of this series. He got hurt diving for a ball, but he's the league leader in home runs. Duvall's very good. Votto's good. Suarez, Cozart's having a career year. This team can swing the bat.
Well, that's it. I think Cozart is the key to balancing out their lineup. They have Hamilton at the top and Votto hitting third. They have Duvall who can hit home runs, but Cozart is hitting for power, playing a great shortstop. He's having an all-star year.
Yeah, he should be an all-star, no question about that. And you look at a guy like Peraza, who's playing second base in Game 1. He's a good, solid young player, and he's given the Cardinals fits. He does a lot of things well. There's really no weakness on the offensive side for the Cincinnati Reds. Their real issue is starting pitching. Their bullpen is better than it's been the last few years, and partly because they made some of their good starters relievers. That process began a season ago, and they've really got a nice bullpen, but their starting rotation is thin, and they've had a ton of injuries in that rotation.
We've seen Paul DeYoung for a week now. He looks like he belongs here, and before too long, Colton Wong is going to be back. He'll be starting a rehab assignment, and they think that he may be joining the club perhaps this week sometime, maybe after this series. What happens then?
Well, it'd be a good problem to try to find multiple at-bats for guys who are both deserving to play, and I guess if you're Mike Matheny, you'd rather have that than trying to figure out how to put 8 guys out there that you're happy with. And I think DeYoung has showed that he belongs at the big league level. I like his range defensively. I think he's been a bit surprising in that regard to me. A guy that started out as a third baseman, I can see why they moved him to shortstop. He has good footwork, and of course Colton was swinging the bat well when he got hurt. So you'd like to have that left-handed bat back in the lineup. The Cardinals are predominantly a right-handed hitting team, so it'll be a nice problem to have, but certainly will be a problem.
But I don't think this will get fixed, Ricky, until this team can somehow relax and get through the pressure moments in the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Well, relaxing is such a key part of this game. You have to focus mentally and relax physically. And for anybody who's tried to do that in any athletic thing, you just know how tough that is. And whether you're standing over a putt or trying to get a serve in or whatever you might be doing, you have to have a laser-like focus with your head, but you also have a relaxed body to go along with it. And the combination of those two things gets kind of messed up when things aren't going well. You start to doubt, your brain's not as positive as it should be. Your body's tenser than it should be, and then the slumps come up.
Well, it's much easier said than trying to get all that accomplished, but that's what they're trying to do as the Cardinals open a 4-game series with the Reds here tonight, Chris.
All right, and when we come back, John Mabry with Mike Claiborne. That's following this on the Ameren pregame show on the Cardinals Radio Network.
And the Cardinals have won the game on a home run by the Wizard.
Hey, Cardinal fans, Ozzie Smith here for Ameren, Illinois. It's easy to be an energy-saving whiz. Start by installing a qualifying smart thermostat in your home. You'll get cash back and save up to 15% on your energy bills. Ameren, Illinois energy efficiency programs put more power in your hands. That's energy at work. To learn more, visit AmerenIllinois.com/programs.
Okay, so you're driving a sport utility or crossover utility vehicle and you like your utility without it being utilitarian. You should demand the same from your tires. The remarkable Cursor HSX Tour tire from Mastercraft, specially designed to look great, ride great, and perform even better. With a striking sidewall and tread design molded to an advanced silicon-fused tread compound for a breakthrough all-weather performance. The Cursor HSX Tour, only from Mastercraft.
Visit Tires Plus today.
The ribeye has the best, the greatest steak in town.
If you're looking for Champaign-Urbana's great steak place, it's the Ribeye Restaurant. Still with their famous salad bar and their delicious seasoned fried shrimp and delicious grilled chicken entrees. The Ribeye Restaurant, 1701 South Neal Street in Champaign. For reservations, call 351-9115.
The ribeye is the best. We're the one, the great one steak place.
At Body and Soul, they take pride in giving you the perfect fit for your athletic shoes. Their team of experts will help you in selecting the style that fits your purpose and your feet. Body and Soul has offered the best prices and best quality for more than 30 years. And they aren't just shoes. Whether it's walking, running, swimming, or biking, or whether it's for you or the whole team, visit Mike or Jed and their experienced staff at Body and Soul, Route 45 Savoy. Call 356-8926 or visit soulsports.com.
Mosquitoes can be a nuisance, and after a mild winter like we had, they're even worse. Let Prairie View Landscaping get rid of those pesky mosquitoes so you can enjoy the summer outdoors without bugs getting in the way. And since it's Prairie View Landscaping's 25th year in business, they're celebrating by offering up to 25% off their mosquito program. Email mypvdiscount@gmail.com for a free quote. mypvdiscount@gmail.com. And if you sign up by May 31st, you can win 2 free mosquito control applications out of 4. Prairie View Landscaping, mypvdiscount@gmail.com.
Summer is here, and the car buying is easy, especially when you have the big 3 American automakers all in one place. Come to McFerrin Park in Hoopeston, beginning on Monday, June 12th, to see the entire inventory from Anthem, Chevrolet Buick, Ford of Hoopeston, and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Hoopeston. Choose from hundreds of America's favorite cars in one easy-to-get-to location. Buick, Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Ford, Jeep, and Ram, all in McFerrin Park on Route 1 in Hoopeston, June 12th through the 17th.
As the Cardinals continue their road trip, it's always good to visit with the hitting coach, John Mabry. Tweaking, man, that seems like that's a word we probably hear a lot when it comes to hitting. You know, when you get to the big leagues, all these guys obviously can swing the bat at some level, but it's a tweak here or there. Do you see that being one of the most common things you see in players and how they can make themselves an improved player at the plate?
Yeah, well, the league's going to tell them what they need to do. You know, they're going to show them pretty quickly. If you're not doing something that you should be doing, the pitchers will let you know for sure. But you know, you hear it all the time. It's a game of adjustments, and at this level, you know, guys can repeat. And they can repeat their command. They can repeat command of secondary. They can attack your weaknesses pretty quickly. So if you got some glaring holes, they're going to let you know pretty quickly.
You've had some kids call up this year. How do you approach a kid who comes up? Do you just give him information about what this guy likes to do as far as a pitcher is concerned? Watch him swing the bat a little bit before you make a suggestion on how teams are going to come after him?
Yeah, it's just give them the information of what they're about to face, you know, the pitchers they're about to see. They are who they are when they get here. Then again, the league's going to tell them what adjustments they need to make, and once those adjustments need to be made, then we move in on those. You know, some guys we've been working with since, you know, a couple of years ago, early spring training camps, getting in, they've got an idea of what the language is and what kind of the philosophy is, and they do a great job in the minor leagues of getting them ready. then once they get here, they have to see it for themselves. This league is different than what they've ever faced, and once those adjustments need to be made, we attack those as they come.
Are you at that age now where some of these guys ask you, did you play?
They're closer to my kids' age than they are my age. It goes fast, you don't think like that. But these guys are young men, and more and more nowadays they're getting here faster. It's just the nature of our industry now that they're getting here faster and they're staying here longer and they're bigger, faster, stronger. But again, the information is still the same. There's some wily cats in this league that don't go anywhere. There's no next level. So,
and the reason I asked that question for those kids who may remember you as somebody who saw you play, you made yourself a very good hitter, an outstanding pinch hitter, where if you had that one at bat, and if you played in Seattle, you might get one every 21 games, you have a situation where you were able to zero in. How much do you take from your own playing experience and try and transfer that into some of the ideas you want to give these kids that you're working with?
I don't think it's necessarily, it is and isn't related. The what you went through in your career kind of shapes you as a person, and you learn some goods and some bads. I try to stay away from the bads, and try to give them the goods. What you've learned over the years, but it's all depending on what they see and what's going on in their career. It doesn't have anything to do with what I did as a player. It has everything to do with what they're doing currently, what's being attacked on their personal day-to-day experiences in the game, what the pitcher's trying to do that game, and trying to shape guys to fit into the system, not to kind of replicate what anything that we did as players. Coaches, we're trying to make the best for them and trying to build leaders that kind of replicate what the Cardinals are all about, and then those leaders step in for the leaders before them, and hopefully continue that kind of that path of reshaping people to make them fit in as Cardinal players and carry the tradition on of what Cardinal baseball is. So it's not, you use your experiences, but it's always real-time information of right now, what's going on right now.
Mike Claiborne with hitting coach John Mabry. We get ready for first pitch next on the Cardinals Radio Network.
Hey, Cardinal fans, there's another MVP in our community, Rankin Jordan Pediatric Bridge Hospital in St. Louis. Rankin Jordan transitions kids with complex illnesses and injuries from acute care to home. They not only work with the child, but also the families to make the return home possible. Rankin Jordan is the only pediatric bridge hospital in the country using care beyond the bedside to get kids out of their beds and back to living. To learn more about Rankin Jordan, their inpatient and outpatient programs, or to find out how you can give, visit rankinjordan.org.
Scotty here reminding Cardinal fans about the annual St. Clair County Transit District's Day at the Ballpark on Saturday, July 29th, featuring our Cardinals and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Ticket packages still remain and include a game ticket, a pregame lunch buffet at the Ballpark Hilton, and transportation to and from the games on the Redbird Express. All for the price of $26 per ticket. Wow, what a wonderful value for family and friends. Get your tickets while they last. Call 618-628-8090 or go to scctd.org.
Hi, I'm Mike Carpenter from the Tay and J Show on ESPN 93.5, and for over 20 years, Simplified Computers has been helping local businesses and nonprofits with their computing and networking needs. Simplified Computers covers everything from servers, network security, cloud-based applications, wireless accessibility, computer support. In short, whatever technical issues your business runs into, the guys at Simplified Computers have seen it, and they can help. Call them at 352-5000. That's 352-5000. Simplified Computers. Simply the best.
Okay, U of I Meat Sales Room theme song, take one. The Meat Boat. Soon we'll be grilling another steak. I'm pretty sure that's already been done before. Take two. I'll eat meat with you. I'll eat burgers and brats. Yet again, already been done before. Take three. Meat, 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 meat. Meat, 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 meat.
The U of I Meat Sales Room on Maryland and Urbana. They may not have clever theme songs, but they do have the best meat in town.
You can fly Champaign. You can fly Willard Airport. You can fly Champaign. You can fly. Our airport is your doorway to the sky. So pack your things, spread your wings. You've got business to do. People who expect you. You can fly Champaign.
If
enjoy life's celebrations? You need to call Rosati's Pizza for their comfortable catering package for 10 for just $92.35. Rosati's will serve you, along with your friends, families, and coworkers, a delicious lunch or dinner for under $100. Feed them all with Italian beef, pasta, salad, and garlic bread. It's all about good food at Rosati's. Having a party, picnic, hosting a celebration? Call Rosati's for their comfortable catering package for 10. Rosati's Pizza, 701 South Gregory in Urbana, or call 328-2334.
Carlos Martinez, our UMB player to bank on tonight. Martinez coming off that fantastic May and has been good at Great American Ballpark, 2-1 with a 2.22 ERA. He's given up just 6 earned runs over 24 and a third innings, striking out 26 Cincinnati Reds. We'll see if he can get some run support tonight as the Cardinals try to snap their 3-game losing streak in Cincinnati. First pitch is coming up next with John Rooney and Rick Horton. This has been the Ameren pregame show from Cardinals Nation Restaurant inside Ballpark Village. I'm Chris Raby. We'll talk to you post-game, but baseball is next right here on the Cardinals Radio Network.
Awesome Machine Sales and Rental wants you to take charge of your yard with Toro. Toro has the quality you expect and dependability you deserve from your lawn equipment. Awesome Machines and Toro has the right machine to keep you inside and cool this summer season. With push mowers starting as low as $269 and zero turns starting as low as $22.99 with 0% financing available. Simply awesome. Awesome Machines Sales and Rental, Route 45 in Savoy, Route 36 in Tuscola, and online at awesomemachines.net.
Vapors e-cigs thinks it's time for you to take a permanent vacation from smoking. Take a permanent vacation away from cigarettes today. You'll smell better, you'll breathe better, and you'll feel better. Plus, you'll have more money than ever when you choose Vapors e-cigs. Come in today and taste the difference with a premium electronic vape. You can get started for less than a carton of cigarettes. So what are you waiting for? Stop by Vapors e-cigs today. Find them at Champaign across the street from Marketplace Mall at 2 West Main Street in Danville. And follow them on Facebook for great deal offers and giveaways.
Hi, I'm Dan Moyson, owner of Simplified Computers in Champaign. For over 20 years, Simplified Computers has been helping local businesses and nonprofits with their computing and networking needs. We cover everything from servers, network security, cloud-based applications, wireless accessibility, computer support. In short, whatever technical issues your business runs into, we've seen it and we can help. Call us at 352-5000. That's 352-5000. Simplified Computers. Simply the best.
At Body and Soul, they take pride in giving you the perfect fit for your athletic shoes. Their team of experts will help you in selecting the style that fits your purpose and your feet. Body and Soul has offered the best prices and best quality for more than 30 years. And they aren't just shoes. Whether it's walking, running, swimming, or biking, or whether it's for you or the whole team, visit Mike or Jed and their experienced staff at Body and Soul, Route 45 Savoy. Call 356-8926 or visit body, the letter